Welcome to Unison Credit Union Stadium at Fitzpatrick Field in Little Chute, the site for tonight's Northeastern Conference showdown between the visiting Freedom Irish and the host Little Chute Mustangs. Good evening, everyone. It's another beautiful Friday night for high school football, Week 7 in the state of Wisconsin, and we're hoping this is going to be a game that's as good as we think it will be coming in. You're talking about two undefeated teams, Northeastern Conference championship implications. And Brett Christopherson, who I am joined with here, along with Jim Rosendick, bringing those high-definition shots. And Brett, first off, we have a lot to talk about, namely the field, but the game itself, in my opinion, should be one of the best we've seen this year.
Oh, Ricardo, one of the best in the state tonight, wouldn't you say? It's
Yes.
like a perfect storm how this all played out. Both teams 6-0 overall, 4-0 in the Northeastern Conference, which the league as a whole is having a fantastic season. Week 7, so a late season matchup, back third of the regular season. And like you said, Ricardo, conference championship implications. The winner of this one takes a huge step forward in perhaps securing an NEC title, getting a great playoff seed. That's not too far down the line. Ricardo, two teams that are very similar to each other. They got quarterbacks that can light it up. They've got running attacks that can light it up. And they got stout, sturdy defenses that can really shut you down. We were talking before we went live. I think this is a coin flip game. I think this is a game that's going to come down to the fourth quarter. I don't see either team, whoever wins, is going to win more by a score, and I think you agree.
I would agree so, and these are, another big rivalry. And Brad, before we talk, you put together some really nice notes here. We'll start off with Little Chute, end it with Freedom. But before we start with Little Chute notes, in my opinion, I think Little Chute is probably one of the 2 or 3 surprise teams in the Fox Valley area. I think we thought they would be competitive this season, but coming in undefeated and vying for an NEC championship, I think that surprised a lot of people.
And doing it in the fashion that they're doing it. I remember week 1 when they beat Winneconne 30-0. We were streaming a game, and you said, well, that's kind of an eyebrow raiser because Winneconne always pretty tough. And then, of course, last week what they did to Fox Valley Lutheran, 33-7, a game that was undefeated going against each other. They just really took apart the Foxes.
I don't think they needed to be legitimatized, in that game. But if anybody was not believing in Little Chute, I think that was the big one that kind of stamped that, yes, this team is for real. Let's talk about Little Chute more at length here. Again, these Little Chute notes put together by Brett Christopherson. Mustangs ranked 8th in this week's Division IV state coaches poll, and they're coming off an impressive 23-7 victory over Fox Valley Lutheran last Friday in a Northeastern Conference matchup in Appleton. Quarterback Charlie Vandenberg was sensational as he threw for 278 yards and 5 touchdowns on 10 of 15 passing to pace a Little Chute offense that finished with 386 total yards. Vandenberg, he tossed 3 of his touchdowns in the first quarter as the Mustangs jumped to a 19-0 lead. He connected with Tyler Fisher on a 52-yard score, Caden Kerrigan on a 91-yard touchdown, and Hunter Thiel from 28 yards out. Vandenberg's other 2 touchdowns came in the third quarter, a 23-yard hookup with Thiel, and a 79-yard score to Kyle Moronic as Little Chute grabbed a commanding 33-0 advantage. Thiel finished with 3 receptions for 69 yards, while Moronic wound up with 2 catches for 76. Kerrigan's lone catch was that 86-yard touchdown. Drew Joten led the way in rushing with 60 yards on 13 carries, and overall the Mustangs finished with 108 yards on the ground. Now defensively, Joten and Jackson Kang recorded 7 tackles apiece. Joten also came up with a pick, and Josh Verhagen, Lakin Dirks, and Thiel each finished with a sack. Now on the season, Vandenberg has thrown for 929 yards and 11 touchdowns while completing 60% of his passes. His passing total, that ranks 2nd in the NEC, and he also has 3 interceptions on the season. Joten is the Mustangs' top rusher with 561 yards and 6 touchdowns on 89 carry. He's averaging 6.3 yards a rush and 93.5 yards rushing a game. Brock Gardner is next in rushing with 211 yards on 37 attempts and 2 touchdowns. And Thiel, a big body. He is the team's top receiver with 20 catches for 351 yards and 5 touchdowns. Those are all team highs. His receiving yardage ranks 2nd in the conference, and Kerrigan is next with 16 catches for 214 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now defensively, Kang's 40 total tackles leads the Mustangs. He also has a forced fumble and a pick. Joten and Verhagen are next with 37 and 33 tackles, respectively, and Thiel has a team-best 4 sacks. Now as a team, Little Chute is averaging 159.3 passing yards a game, and they're allowing 122. They're also averaging 164.3 rushing yards a game and allowing just 41.3. That's a really nice number defensively for the Mustangs. Now, Little Chute's also averaging 30.3 points and allowing 8.2. Brett, my UW-Milwaukee, Matt, that's 3 touchdowns.
That's pretty good,
difference.
isn't it?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Anytime you get it over 15-point difference, you're really doing a great job. Now, Little Chute's next game, another big one. They're at Wrightstown next Friday in an NEC conference matchup, kickoff scheduled for 7 o'clock. Brett, what can you tell me about those undefeated Irish?
Yeah, the Irish, Ricardo, ranked 5th in the medium division, 3rd in Division 4 in this week's Associated Press and WizSports.net state coaches polls, respectively. And they're coming off a hard-fought 26-14 victory over Luxembourg Casco last Friday in a Northeastern Conference showdown at Luxembourg. Ricardo, a little adversity for the Freedom Irish. Freedom trailed 14-0 after the opening quarter, but then responded with a 20-point second quarter to take control of the game. Quarterback Matt Weingard hooked up with Carson Clausen on a 3-yard score for the Irish's first touchdown. Gavin Greiner then got things going defensively, a 40-yard interception return for a touchdown. And Carter Crewalt, we'll be saying his name quite a bit tonight, he added a 6-yard TD run later in the quarter as Freedom took a 20-14 lead into the half. Crewalt then secured the win when he scored from 4 yards out in the fourth quarter. Weingard threw for 162 yards and a touchdown on 11-22 passing. Crewalt, he had another big night, 111 yards rushing, 2 scores on 26 attempts. Greiner, he led the way in receiving with 4 catches for 60 yards. Clausen finished with 3 catches for 26 yards. Defensively, Weingard all over the field. So here's your quarterback, Ricardo, making some plays. 12 tackles. Crewalt added 9 stops. Greiner, meanwhile, how about this? 3 interceptions in the win. On the season, Weingard has thrown for 823 yards and 13 touchdowns while completing 62.7% of his passes. His passing total, that ranks 3rd in the league. He also has 2 interceptions. Crewalt easily leads the way in rushing, 784 yards and 14 TDs on 84 attempts. He's averaging 9.3 yards per carry and 130.7 yards per game. His rushing total, that ranks 1st in the conference. Greiner is the team's top receiver with 13 catches for 213 yards, both team highs, and 2 touchdowns. Clausen is next with 10 receptions for 105 yards and 4 scores. Kyle Worster and Greg Westmeyer have 138 and 130 receiving yards on the season. Defensively, Tucker Brockman, friend of Varsity Roundtable, right? He's the Irish's top tackler with 34 total stops. Weingard is next with 33 tackles and 2 sacks. Greiner has 5 of the team's 12 interceptions, Ricardo. Ball hawking Irish defensively. Crewalt is next with 3 picks. And then looking at the team stats, Freedom averaging 155 passing yards per game and allowing 94.3. The Irish also averaging 218.2 rushing yards per game and allowing 83.7. Freedom, looking at the scoreboard, well, check this out, averaging 43.8 points and allowing 9.2. Use your math. That's even more impressive, isn't it, when you look at the average margin of victory. And up next for Denmark, for Freedom, is a home game against Denmark next Friday, Week 8 already. That's a Northeastern Conference matchup. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m.
You know, Brett, when you mentioned about the Associated Press rankings, Little Chute's not in the top 10, but they're basically 11th. They had 6 votes in the Associated Press middle division schools. Brett, I would like to say that I ranked them 6, so I gave them, I guess, 5 votes, and someone else must have voted for them too somewhere in the top 10. I think very highly of Little Chute. I think they have the resume to consider themselves one of the top teams in the medium division.
I was going to say, I think they're being underlooked because they've gone back-to-back weeks of undefeated and winning against Luxembourg Casco, FVL. They're in a gauntlet right now when you talk about then tonight Freedom and then next week Wrightstown. There's just no weeks off here in the NEC. The NEC has been spectacular this season.
They impressed me, Brett, to rank them in the top 10.
Homecoming night here at Unison Credit Union Stadium at Fitzpatrick Field. I thought you were supposed to schedule easy teams for homecoming, not your rival when playing for the county ensign on top of that.
They're not the only ones. Appleton West scheduled Wausau West.
Ouch.
The
Warriors are pretty good, right?
Why is that? Wausau West is pretty good. Okay, yeah.
Well, we'll talk more about tonight's game after the national anthem. Outstanding job on the national anthem. Boy, an electric atmosphere here in Week 7. First of all, I can't believe it's Week 7. Last third of the regular season coming up. Homecoming night. Is it senior night on top of that here at Little Chute? And the county ensign up for grabs. The NEC supremacy up for grabs. A chance for one of these two teams to take a step forward. And Ricardo, you got the turf. Brand new turf field here at Fitzpatrick Field. It's beautiful.
I was out here earlier to do a feature on Little Chute. I think when they started 2-0 or 3-0. Beautiful.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's something to really be proud of, and I'm so glad that Fitzpatrick Field has this, because not only is this just nice, you could do so many things on it at the same time, right? You can have several gym courses going on out here. Anything soccer, anything you want out here. It's also a sense of pride for the community, and also, if it happens to be that way, you might be able to host something here, possibly if a Division 7 or Division 6 game. Little Chute's in the Valley. You can put it there.
You could, like you're talking about state semifinals.
Yeah, like in football.
Absolutely.
I mean,
you have to have a turf field, right?
Right, and some of the smaller schools I think would fit perfectly bringing their whole towns here. So
yeah, there's we'll talk a little bit more about the turf and all that. But as I was talking to Ted Evers, the head football coach here, you're right. They got to be proud. This is a source of big-time pride here in this community. This is really the jewel of this village. It's a spectacular complex for its size. And I told Ted, I said, with this turf field, you got to be the envy of the league right now. I mean, the only school in the NEC with turf. So they did a great job. Looks nice. And boy, I'm fired. I've been waiting for this one all week. I mean, a rivalry game. We don't get to do too many trophy games on top of that. We'll talk about the history of the county ensign. I was able to reach back to a former Little Chute coach who had something to do with the launching of the trophy game and some of the tidbits he gave me. And a beautiful night on top of that. The weather's unbelievable. So we've got another big game coming up next week. We're going to do Kimberly and Neenah, so that could be for the FBA championship. So it's getting into focus, isn't it? Laser focus here in the last third of the season.
What about Week 9, Brett?
Week 9, I'm not sure.
Okay.
All right, I'm working on that one. But normally what I do is get these schedules out in the spring, because press box space is at a premium. So, but there's sometimes a little reshuffling. Now, this one I had from the get-go, Week 7, so it played out looking into my crystal ball. Also want to thank Kelly Wallace, the athletic director here, for making sure we're all good to go. She always rolls out the red carpet for us when we stop by, and it's always a treat. Nice setting with the neighborhood and everything, and I saw somebody look like they're having a fire across the way.
Senior night here, I believe, for the Mustangs, as you see the players coming off with their parents.
Ricardo, I just want to give a shout-out to our sponsors real quick, if you don't mind. Cellcom following the savings this month at Cellcom with up to $500 in savings when you activate a new smartphone line and trade in your existing device. Visit cellcom.com/save for details. And Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. Get your team, club, or business name out there with Cooney's. They customize products specifically to fit their customers' needs. Family-owned for 20 years. They have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your organization. Delivery service is available. Contact them today, 920-731-0922, or send them an email, right? Cooney, COONEYS 0922 at sbcglobal.net.
Just about ready to start here. Little Chute and Freedom.
Tell you what, it's tough getting in. Rosie and I were talking. There's kind of some construction going on downtown, and then we're trying to. Then we tried to make your way in past the parade and everything that's going on. I'm just glad we found a spot. Rosie got the best spot of them all. It was a one-stall reserve for USA Today Network Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
Right next to the gate. I had to hoof it a little bit.
Good for him.
I had my truck here. I couldn't even. It was such a tight squeeze. I think my truck's a little crooked in the parking spot. There's so many people. I didn't want to hit anything.
I didn't actually have the parking was. I mean, I had to park on the street, but it wasn't too bad though. But yeah, the parking lot was definitely filled.
Yeah,
but this is such a nice walk. I mean, it's everything's so close to each other. Really a nice setup here they have at Little Chute. We are ready to start. And
gotta pick that up, and
at the 8.
Not much there. Ricardo, that's number 5, Caden Kerrigan, the senior. Good kickoff for the Irish, and an excellent coverage unit there to bring down Kerrigan. Long field to go for the Mustangs as they get ready for their first offensive series. Ball's going to be marked at the 13-yard line. Thanks to everybody checking us out tonight, postcrescent.com. Post Crescent Facebook page. Also streaming to the Green Bay Facebook page because there is overlap. There's going to be some potential playoff matchups down the line, so there's always interest in these teams. And our USA Today Network Wisconsin YouTube channel. Please subscribe to that. We'd appreciate your support. Boy, is that Jotun? That was number 33, Ricardo Levi Baumgart, the senior linebacker, one of the first ones there. 5'11", 195 pounds, got in the backfield. Maybe a gain for Jotun, not much there, 2nd and 9.
This has been a pretty balanced Little Chute offense, Brad. That's one of the things that is their strength, is they're able to do damage through the air. Jotun's been the main ball carrier. And they got some real talented receivers, Brett.
And a talented quarterback.
Absolutely.
Vandenberg has really been impressive this season, and we're going to see him for the first time. Little pump fake, rainbows it downfield for Thiel. He caught it. Is he in bounds?
I think he is.
They're going to mark it at the 45-yard line. Thiel's pumped up. And what a catch in front of that Little Chute sideline, Ricardo. That's some concentration there.
Real good hand-eye coordination, Brett. Again, and I talked about before we start, his size, his dimension, 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah,
you know
6'5".
that he's a nightmare to contend with.
How about that rainbow? Vandenberg, Ricardo just dropped it right in the perfect spot. Wow, what a throw! And start offensively for the Mustangs, and that's Caden Kerrigan on the carry there.
Brett, the Thiel catch, 31 yards.
Just high-pointed it, didn't he? Let that Thiel, like you said, with that 6'5" frame, those long arms, go up and make a play. There's some pretty good coverage on that play, too, but Thiel won the battle there.
Brett, we're already getting some scores here. Dan Cohn, our buddy, our part-timer.
Already, it just started.
Notre Dame 7, Menasha nothing.
Ooh, that's a big game in the FRCC North, or South, right? Winner
Yes.
of that one will more than likely win the conference. 2nd down and 9 as Vandenberg waits for the snap, and he's going to drop back again. Well, big rollout. He's on the run.
Oh, Thiel's a wide open. Oh, Brett.
Nice catch, though.
Yeah.
You saw Thiel downfield?
He did, yeah.
That looked like Cal Moronic, the senior, his first touch. So spreading it out. We've seen different, Jotun, Kerrigan, Thiel, Moronic already touching the football here offensively for the Mustangs. 3rd and 2 coming up. Look at Charlie Vandenberg, only a junior, 5'10", 150 pounds. If you're Ted Evers, you're thinking, nice. So we're going to have another season with Vandenberg.
His development has been nothing but really impressive.
3rd and 2 in Freedom territory. There's Jolton looking for some space, looking to get let's see where they mark
close.
this.
But he's going to be short, Brett, by about half a yard.
Yeah. And you can see the Freedom defense fired up. Number 6 there in the back, raising his arms. Greg Westmeyer, the safety. And I think if you're, they spotted it, Ricardo, at the 45-yard line.
What?
We'll see where that is in relation to the sticks, but they're going to measure.
That was more at the 45.5 from where I saw the judge or the referee initially. But that should be a first down, I'm thinking.
I would think so, too. But officials just want to make sure. As Rosie's all over that camera shot. And
it might be short by
I think it's just they're checking, making sure every chain link
they gave it to him.
Is being used, and they must have just got it by a nose, Ricardo. Looking at the series, the all-time series, Freedom leads 23-18. Freedom now has won, though, the last 4 in the series, 6 of the last 7. But this has just been a back and forth. I mean, some of the scores in recent years, 1-point games, 2 7-point games, 2 6-point games, a 9-point game, 10-point game, 11-point game. You look at the all-time scoring, Freedom leads 725 to 704.
Right,
that's almost
close.
identical. So it's no wonder why this is really, I think, Ricardo developed into one of the better rivalries here in the Post Crescent coverage area, regardless of the sport. Anytime these two teams meet, these two schools meet, it always goes down to the wire. 1st and 10, fresh set of downs for the Mustangs. Vandenberg, little play action. Trying to set up a screen to Jotun. He's got blockers near sideline. And that's a nice little play design, Ricardo. Great block. Didn't see who had it. That sprung Jotun free. but once he got that block, he was off to the races inside the 30 down to the 26.
Gain of 20 yards, Brett, and Vandenberg 3 for 3 for 58 yards.
Ricardo, a little razzle-dazzle. He kind of spun one way, then turned the other. A little misdirection on that screen, and again, really executed well by the Mustangs. Nice play call, 1st and 10. Vandenberg again, a little pump fake down the field, and just too high for Thiel. Trying to freeze that defense with that quick little pump fake.
That's, anytime you see that kind of stuff, Brett, that's a quarterback who's confident in what he is doing.
He looks confident out there right now, doesn't he? He's operating the offense well, and like you said, Ricardo, the balance. You have to honor Jotun. He's a heck of a running back. They got an offensive line that can pass protect, that can run block. And like you said, you throw those skilled position guys in on the outside and a quarterback. Kind of pick your poison. What do you want to stop?
Well, 3 receivers far side for Vandenberg. 2nd down and 10 from the 26.
You can see Vandenberg telling Jotun maybe which way to go, spinning around. And down to the 23-yard line, 3rd and, what are we going to call it, 6?
3rd and a short 7, I'd call it, but I'm very particular.
You always got to be difficult.
I do. At this point, though, Brett, in terms of where they are in the field, it's definitely 4-down territory. Yeah, unless they feel really good about the kicker. That I don't know.
Right, Ricardo don't know their kicking situation at all. Vandenberg, he got freedom to jump a little bit. Little Shoe coaches want something called, and nothing's called. That was to Kerrigan, 4th down. Don't know if they even picked anything up. Might have lost a yard there.
They lost 2.
Saw that Freedom that front, though, jumped into the neutral zone. I think you saw the Freedom coaches, or the Little Shoe coaches with their arms out saying, hey, where's the call? So 4th down. Ball at the 25-yard line, and a chance, Ricardo, for this Freedom Irish defense to come up with a big stop.
Big moment already for Little Shoot on the offense.
Where's Thiel? I'm imagining number 84 is going to be the target. Vandenberg deep downfield, and is that caught? He caught it. Wow, bobbled catch. Ricardo, that's number 41, Moronic, with a huge 4th down grab.
Yeah, and he came out of the backfield, Brett, and I don't want to say it was a wheel route, but he definitely flared out and just took it upfield, and he was all by himself.
Yeah, good concentration, though, kind of bobbled up, but secured it just in time to complete what they say, the process of the catch, maybe. But ball's going to be at the, 7-yard line, 1st and goal.
Brett Vandenberg really sharp this drive, 5 for 6 for 74 yards. 1st down, goal to goal at the 7. 6:50 and counting here in the 1st quarter. Toss to Jotun, left side. And he's going to be in or short, right at the 1.
Took a hit. I thought maybe that hit might get him into the end zone, but it's 2nd and goal at the 1. Pretty good blocking up front on that left side, too, for Jotun. Did a good job reading his blocks and just about spun his way in, but Mustangs a yard away from capping off a very impressive drive. It was a long field, too, about 90 yards.
It was. They started at the 13, Brett, and this has been, I'm going to count this up. This is the 12th play of the drive, Brett. Second down, goal to goal at the 1, nearing the 6-minute mark here in the 1st quarter. No score, but the Mustangs near the end zone. Jotun, right side, and he'll be in.
Good blocking. He read the hole, was patient. Ricardo attacked it, and he's in for the 1-yard score. What a drive to open this game for Little Shoot.
Early score, Nina up 7-0 over Kaukauna, Brett.
Took just a little over half the quarter as well. What are the Mustangs doing here? That was interesting, I would say, but
just to give them something to think about.
More of a traditional PAT attempt. That one sails through for number 34, Dawson Roseman, and with 5:51 to play here in this opening quarter, Little Chute strikes first. The 1-yard touchdown run by Drew Jotun. Mustangs on top, 7-0 as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard.
Play drive, Brett.
12 play, 87 yards, right? Started at the 13. Impressive, and doing it like you talked about now a couple times, right? The balance. Although Vandenberg in that passing game, boy, that's impressive. He's got some talent on those perimeter guys, those skill guys. That's Jotun on the kickoff. Looks like number 1, Carter Krewalt on the return. He kind of does a little bit of everything, doesn't he, Carter Krewalt?
Had a little bit of a number change since we had him on the...
Number 32 is what I'm used to seeing him in, right? Now he's number 1. So where are they going to mark this ball? About the 30, right at the 39-yard line. So our first look at the Irish, and let's see how Freedom responds after that 87-yard touchdown march to open the game by the Mustangs. First look at Matt Weingard, I should say, at quarterback. He's having a heck of a season as well. They'll toss to Krewalt. Little Chute defense there. Wow. I think you give number 41 the credit there at first, Cal Moronic. Two-way player. Of course, we saw him making some plays on that opening drive as a defensive lineman, Ricardo. He got in, kind of slowed Krewalt down, and allowed the Mustangs, the rest of his teammates, to swarm and bring him down.
Lost of 4 yards on the first play for the Irish. Bring up a 2nd and 14 at the 35. Not the way you want to start, especially coming off the Little Chute touchdown. Freedom, 3 receivers far side.
Play fake to Krewalt, and that's a pass. Pretty good run and breaking some tackles. That's number 2, Gavin Greiner, the senior wide receiver. So 3rd down coming up for the Irish. Feels like already kind of a big moment in this game, doesn't it? Boy, a chance for that Mustang defense to get off the field really fast, force a 3 and out. And conversely, if you're Freedom, you want to answer that Little Chute touchdown run by possessing the ball and moving some chains, getting some first downs, getting yourself in position to tie this thing up. So we'll see what's going to happen here on 3rd and 5 to go. Krewalt with it. Wow.
Nowhere for him to run, Brett. He was hit right at the line of scrimmage.
That was number 33, I believe, for the Mustangs. Josh Verhagen, the senior linebacker, getting in low. And Ricardo, 3 and out.
Well, if you're the Mustangs defense, you got to be thrilled with how you played that. Didn't allow the second play to go off for first down yardage, and really stuffed the Irish on those run attempts as Krewalt.
Jotun, the return man, he's going to wave for a fair catch right at about the 15-yard line. So, yeah, if you're a Mustangs fan, you can't pick a better, couldn't have written a better start for this game. Right down the field on the opening possession of the game, 12 plays, 87 yards. Then defensively, you get the 3 and out, and you got a hot offense coming back onto the field. Ball will be marked at the 14-yard line.
.358 left here in the first quarter. 7-0 lead for Little Chute. They start their second offensive possession of the game.
One-on-one with Thiel here, bottom, but instead it's going to be a handoff to Kerrigan. The balance, Ricardo, not only the balance in terms of the play calling, but who's getting the ball, too. I mean, who do you focus in on right now?
Yeah, and Little Chute just looks a step faster right now. They just look to be very confident, and they're doing a great job of firing off in terms of the offensive line, and they just look a step quicker right now than the Irish.
Freedom defense needs to tighten up, try to force a 3-and-out of its own. 2nd and 5 to go for the Mustangs here on their second offensive series. Vandenberg waiting for the snap, handoff to Jotun, looking for some running room, and 3rd down coming up. Hey, Ricardo, last time these two teams met, Freedom won 17-6. That was the second round of last season's WIAA Division IV playoffs. Gavin Griner's 53-yard interception return for a touchdown in the 4th quarter clinched the victory for the Irish, who would then go on to advance to the state semifinals before falling to a very good Ellsworth team. 50-yard touchdown pass from Jamison Rudy to Griner in the 3rd quarter broke a 3-3 tie. The Mustangs' lone points came on a pair of field goals. These two teams have met a few times in the playoffs. Doesn't happen all the time, but we'll talk about those here later on as well. 3rd and 3? Vandenberg.
Look out.
Yeah, well, here comes the pressure. Good time to send the pressure, and the Irish, Ricardo, get off the field. They needed that.
Not just that, from where they're punching, Brett, it'll be advantageous in terms of field position as well.
Irish said no more of watching Vandenberg stand back there and pick him apart.
Yeah, loss of 10 on that sack, Brett. Exactly what Freedom needed, though. The last thing he wanted is to give up another lengthy drive for a score.
Yeah, and you see where Carter Krewalt is set up in Little Chute territory about the 43-yard line. So as you said, Ricardo, should be some fantastic field position coming up for the Irish. Pretty good punt. Krewalt at the 41, and good tackle by Jotun getting down there. That's a dangerous punt return, man. Had Carter and was Tucker Brockman on the varsity roundtable last week, along with members of the Freedom volleyball team.
Yes.
And, of course, Carter comes from a pretty good lineage, doesn't he?
He does.
His dad's the head coach across the way, Clint Krewalt. Talk about his resume, and what a heck of a football career. Weingard hands off to Krewalt, and a whole bunch of blue jerseys there. Right now, winning along the trenches is that defensive front for the Mustangs.
We'll call it no gain. Brett, I know this is early, but you feel like Freedom needs to, with the field position they have, that they almost have to score here.
Well, especially when you get field position the way Freedom did after that sack. 2nd and 10, ball at the 37.
Irish struggling in the run game, Brett. 3 carries for -4 yards for Krewalt.
Weingard's going to pass. Good pocket. No, just
had him open.
Little bit of a pocket collapse there at the last second. Griner was open, but I wonder if Weingard had to get rid of it maybe a little bit faster, a tick faster than what he wanted initially. So a little bit of a pressure there at the last second, maybe forcing a bit of a wayward throw. 3rd and 10 coming up. Here's a question for you. What do you do if you're stopped for 4th down? You got to punt, don't you?
I think so. Nina's up 14-0 over Kaukauna right away, Brett, so the Rockets are not slowing down.
Can't wait to see them next week. That should be a monster game potentially. Nina at Kimberly. We will be streaming that one from Papermaker Stadium just on the other side of the river here. It's a little razzle-dazzle. And I think the Mustangs have this stretched out here pretty good. They were not fooled by that. Jotun gave good pursuit there on the end on that little toss back to Westmeyer. And now 4th down and a decision time for Clint Krewalt. Ball inside the 35 down to the 33, 4th down.
Hey, Brett, big old Jack Verstegen, 6'3", 280, showing some of the wheels a little bit on the perimeter defense. He chased down Westmeyer.
Looks like Freedom going to go for it at this spot in the field. So, I mean, It makes sense. Of course, a chance, Ricardo, you could always do a little pooch punt, really try to pin him side to 10.
And if Krewald's the punter,
that's
so
true.
We do know that. He can do this.
Weingard, hand up. No, nothing doing. Wow. There's number 33 getting in there again low. Josh Verhagen, the senior linebacker, shooting that gap. And Krewald had nowhere to go. Turnover on downs.
4 carries, -6 yards for Krewald, Brett. Mustangs defense doing
work. So they'll take over Little Chute, that is, on its own 35-yard line. But we've called Verhagen's name a couple times. Nice-looking player, senior linebacker. You know, I listened to Ted Evers on some interviews lately, and you get a little bit of smile when he's talking, and he's like, my kids, they just love to hit. And, Ted, he loved to hit back in the day, too. He was a standout football player here at Little Chute. High pass, nice catch by Kerrigan. Fumble.
Oh, boy.
Watch out. Is that Westmeyer going to go down? He's got it inside the 15, cuts it back inside the 10, fumble back. And I think the Mustangs got it. And it is Little Chute's ball. So 2 fumbles, Ricardo, on the play. Kerrigan got it punched out. Westmeyer picks it up. He's zigging and zagging his way. And it's punched out again, and Little Chute falls on it. Fresh set of downs. You start all over. You don't see that very often.
No, you don't. Where are they marking that, Brett? I can't even see
That's going to be at the 12-yard line. So 1st and 10 at the 12.
Fond du Lac up 7-0 over Kimberly, Brett. 2:12 left in the first.
Now you just kind of regroup, don't you? It's a rivalry game. Weird stuff happens. Jotun, boy, big hole up the middle. Watch out. Jones on the run. He's in Freedom territory, far sideline. Down to the 30, inside the 25, down to the 20. What a run for Jotun, and what a huge hole, Ricardo, on that offensive line. He was untouched going into the second level and beyond.
Well, that's flipping field position.
I guess.
Takes it right to the 21, it looks like. Right at the 20, I'm sorry.
But what a crazy sequence this has been.
68-yard run by Jotun, Brett.
Well, your Freedom, you're thinking you got the turnover, and then you turn over right back on the turnover, and then what did you say? 68
yards?
68-yard run. Ball at the 20-yard line is, I believe that's Kerrigan on the carry. Trying to move that pile over. Check that. That was, I missed the number there. That was not Kerrigan, I'm sorry. Brock Gardner, number 36. Sophomore running back, linebacker. Rosie's got the eyes on the guys. We're a little tight here in the booth, so we got to do a little lunging around to poke our heads out of the windows here. 2nd and 5? Ball to 15.
Yeah, 3 receivers near side, 1 far side for Vandenbergs.
That's Gardner again. And wonder if Ted Evers and that crew, are they going to let this clock run down here to end the first quarter? Maybe regroup a little bit, think about what they want to do on this 3rd down play. Do they have to run one more? I didn't exactly see. They don't. Yeah, and you can see Vandenberg walking to the sideline. And that does it here at Unison Credit Union Stadium at Fitzpatrick Field. 7-0 Little Chute with the lead. We got 12 minutes into the books here in the battle for the county ensign. Drew Jotun with the 1-yard touchdown run, supplying the only score of the game. 7-0 Mustangs as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's embroidery and sportswear scoreboard.
End of 1 quarter, Appleton North up 3-0 over West.
Seems like the Lightning pitching a lot of shutouts this year.
Yes.
Listen, offensively, it's been a work in progress for Appleton North, but that's a defense. That's a state championship level defense. They are going to be a very scary playoff pairing in Division I. That's going to be a tough defense to crack. Mentioned it, Ricardo, about this turf. Little Chute debuting its $1.2 million multi-purpose turf field this season. District provided $200,000 in seed money for the project, with the rest raised through private donations. I know they're not quite finished with the overall project. They want to add a larger bleacher space on the other side of the field.
And press box?
Well, you're going to have to talk to Ted Evers about
All
that.
right.
But yeah, I mean.
Is there catering?
Easy now. Took a lot of bike rides through here and was kind of charting the progress. It was always fun to see these facilities projects, and what a beautiful field here. Second quarter, third down. That's Gardner. He's got a good block, and he's got the first down. Inside the 10, first and goal coming up. Boy, Ricardo, that front, both offensive and defensive lines for the Mustangs really winning their battles right now. First and goal at the 8. Nice little change of pace, and when you can bring in a sophomore, Brock Gardner, who's had some good runs tonight, or specifically on this drive. So first and goal at the 8 is Vandenberg looking at the defense. There's going to be a little toss to Jotun. Big hole on that right side, inside the 5, down to about the 2. 2 or 3, let's see where they'll spot it.
Is that the 3? Yep.
Ball at the 3, second and goal.
8 carries, 85 yards for Jolton, Brett.
Kerrigan goes in motion. A little toss to Jotun again, looking for that cutback, and he is in. 3-yard score for Jotun, his second rushing score of the game. And the Mustangs now with a 2-score advantage, 10:47 to play. So officially, Ricardo, Little Chute turning a freedom turnover into points.
Yes.
As Dawson Roseman out for the PAT. And that one is no good. Looks like it might have sailed left. And with 10:47 to play here in the second quarter, the 3-yard touchdown run by Drew Jotun makes it 13-0 Mustangs lead as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard. But yeah, you're right. As far as this turf field, when Rosie and I were here, the marching band was practicing on it. I know they've had school recesses out here and different activities, and the soccer programs now have moved to campus. They used to just be down the road at Van Leeshout Park, so you got everything here on campus. They have a turf baseball field now too, and they'll host some track regionals and sectionals here. I think track sectionals might be back again. It's a great complex. There's so much room and space, and yeah, if they add that bleacher space on the far sideline, make it even bigger, Ricardo, you could be hosting even higher divisions as far as level 4 games in the playoffs now with the turf field. So a lot of good stuff coming when you can add some turf to the football field. A lot of many advantages. That ball's live. You got to pick it up. Oh, well, what are we going to have here? I think it went out of bounds first.
Yeah, Brett, we're all tied up between Menasha and Notre Dame at 7 apiece. That's in the second quarter. Again, I'll be keeping track of some of these scores on Twitter.
There's some couple good ones elsewhere in the NEC tonight. Luxembourg Casco at Denmark. Wrightstown at FVL. You look at the Northeastern Conference. The 5th and 6th place teams, Luxembourg Casco and Denmark, both 2-2 in league play. 4-2 for the Spartans overall, 3-3 for Denmark. It's a tough league for sure.
Was it first down and 10 at the 20?
Are they going to make the Mustangs re-kick? Try to get some better field position. So Gavin Greiner did a good thing just by letting that Ball trickle out of bounds. And the Mustangs going to kick it over again. Line drive at about the 23-yard line. That's Krewalt on the return. Far sideline looking for a rail. And look at this run by Krewalt, and that's what Freedom needed. Boy, he found a seam on that far sideline and got around the corner. And you can see the Jets on Krewalt. He took off in great field position for the Irish, down 2 scores. Mentioned that Carter Krewalt's dad, Clint, the Freedom head coach, a Shiocton native, right? Spent 9 seasons in the NFL with the Detroit Lions and Pittsburgh Steelers as a linebacker and key special teams performer. Won a Super Bowl, Ricardo, with the 05 Steelers. Pittsburgh beat Seattle that season 21-10. Made the game's opening tackle. Got the ring. Weingard, watch out. Rainbows 1-2. Krewalt, and it's just knocked away at the last second.
Yeah, I think Krewalt had it in his hands, Brett. But good job by the Little Chute defense.
Yeah, was that number 55 in coverage? Was that Lakin Dirks? He's listed as a defensive back. I think he's also an offensive lineman. How for a combination?
What?
Offensive lineman, defensive back, and not only that, but I believe he's the homecoming king as well. Got everything going for him.
He does.
Krewalt, by the way, to finish that thought, selected by the Lions in the 6th round of the 1999 NFL Draft. Starred collegiately at UW-Stevens Point, thank you very much, and he was an all-state running back and a standout linebacker at Shiocton. There's a swing pass. Is that Krewalt far sideline? Boy, he is just such a focal point with a special teams, defensively, offensively. I mean, he's got to be tired at the end of the night, Carter Krewalt.
That ball's going to be placed inside the 45, I think near the 44. I'm sorry, the 34.
So 3rd down coming up.
Well, was there a penalty? What happened there?
Well, there must have been. Yeah, there was a Mustangs penalty. Didn't see the flag, Ricardo, but a fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 now for Freedom. Didn't see the call.
Might have been a face mask or something.
Ball going to be officially at the 29-yard line.
Nearing the 10-minute mark here in the first half. Weingard. That goes nowhere. That's the number 36, Brock Gardner.
Yeah.
Not Gardner, I'm sorry. That's Tucker Brockman.
Dirks and Jotun right there waiting for Brockman. Not a whole lot of space for the Irish senior running back. Second, well, that's about a loss of what?
2 yards.
Yeah, so 2nd and 12. Rockets up 14-0 over the Ghosts, as you said, Ricardo.
He caught that for a minimal gain.
Good catch, like a one-handed grab by number 13, Carson Clausen, the junior tight end.
So a gain of 4 yards on that. St. Mary Springs up over Campbellsport 21-0. That's a big Flyway Conference showdown. Brett, he had the Brett idea there, did Wingard. Just wasn't able to connect on that pass play.
But I think that defensive front is getting there, getting him a little uncomfortable, right? He didn't have the cleanest pocket, a whole lot of time. And kind of getting rid of that, I think, maybe a little bit sooner than what he wanted to, Ricardo. So 4th down coming up for the Irish. And a chance for this Little Chute defense to make another stop. Oh, the heavy pressure. There's Hunter Thiel. And knocked down, Ricardo, at the last second by Drew Jotun. Boy, Hunter Thiel coming in fast from the backside. Weingart had to get rid of it, almost completed it, just couldn't get it over the fingertips of a leaping Jotun, knocks it down. And turnover on downs. Here comes Charlie Vandenberg. Mustangs offense on the field after another defensive stop for Little Chute.
And as well as that offense has been playing for Little Chute, I think their defense has been lights out here, Brett. Again, this is an offense that was averaging over 40 points a game coming in. I'm talking about Freedom. And to hold them to nothing so far, and they really haven't been able to do anything with any kind of efficiency. Up the near side.
Kerrigan on the jet sweep, but Carter Krewalt reading that one the entire way. Not much there for Kerrigan. I was talking about Freedom coach Clint Krewalt. How about Little Chute coach Ted Evers, Ricardo? He was a standout football player here for the Mustangs. Went on to play collegiately at Minnesota State Mankato as an offensive and defensive lineman, 1997 through 2000. First team All-State offensive lineman for Little Chute, 96. Also earned first team All-Conference accolades that same season at offensive guard and defensive tackle. Doing a good job. Both of these head coaches, excellent work for their respective programs.
2nd and 8.
Oh, wow. Right over the middle. Good fingertip catch. And ball's going to be at the 45-yard line. What'd you get on that catch, Ricardo?
That was number 2.
Griffin Vandenhavel, a junior wide receiver, kind of playing a little bit of that slot look, right? And that was a quick, almost like a hot read. Vandenberg got it out very fast. And a good hands by Vandenhavel. 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Mustangs on the move again.
Vandenberg 7 of 8 for 96 yards.
And he's going to drop back again. He's got all day to throw. Got to scramble. Little rainbow. Nice catch. Was that Kerrigan?
It was.
Boy, wide open, and you got to credit Vandenberg scrambling, making something happen, finding Kerrigan, just kind of an open pocket there. I thought he was going to take a pretty good pop along that sideline, but avoided the big hit. Comes down with it, 1st and 10 now in Freedom territory at the 43-yard line. Boy, nice little pass and good awareness by Vandenberg when he got out on the run.
He's impressed me so far. He looks very comfortable in the pocket. Well, kudos has to go to Little Chute's offensive line for giving him that pocket.
Droton now spinning his way, maybe a yard.
They marking that at the 40, just inside the 42.
Again, credit. We're going to have to get some numbers on this offensive line, too, because, again, he's had time. Vandenberg has had time. He gets out on the run, and there was nobody near him on that pass to Kerrigan.
10 carries, 90 yards for Jotun, I have unofficially.
That's a good average.
According to my UW math, that's 9 yards a carry.
That's what I got, too. As Vandenberg now is going to drop back. Well, again, over the middle. And that was intended for Hunter Thiel, number 33. Levi Baumgart there defensively. And a big 3rd down for this Freedom defense. Try to get off the field here. 5:54 still remaining in this second quarter as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard. We're at Unison Credit Union Stadium at Fitzpatrick Field. The turf. Some good football in this pocket, right? You got Kimberly undefeated just on the other side of the river. Appleton North always good. FVL's having a good season. Wrightstown just up the road's having a good season. The Mustangs are going to burn a timeout, talk things over on this big 3rd down play. Kakana. A lot of good football here in the heart of the valley. Gives me a chance to tell everybody out there about our, we got a great deal on a digital subscription to the Post-Crescent, any of our USA Today Network Wisconsin sites. For the next 6 months, you can get all the benefits included with a digital subscription for just $1. 6 months, $1. That takes you all the way through the winter high school season as well, the sports season, and it also includes full access on your desktop, tablet, mobile devices every day. The e-edition is part of that. Learn more details and sign up for a digital subscription at postcrescent.com/subscribe. Believe it or not, your $1 goes a long way in helping us continue on with these Varsity Game of the Week live streams. We love doing them. And Ricardo, I know once we get past football, we're expecting one heck of another basketball season as well.
True.
There's going to be some fantastic boys and girls teams here in the Fox Valley in northeast Wisconsin.
Another score here midway through the second quarter. Fond du Lac 14-7 over Kimberly.
Wow, really?
And Menasha now up over Notre Dame 21-7 in the second.
Interesting Fond du Lac Kimberly score. I have to say I really thought Kimberly was going to roll in that one.
Yeah, Fond du Lac had been struggling of late.
Yeah. Vandenberg, third down, little pump fake. He's got time. Now he's on the run, going left, thinking about running. He's going to tuck it in. And still in bounds, spins his way. And near the first, he might have gotten the first down on that little spin move right at the end, Ricardo.
Yeah, they mark it inside. It's at the 32. That's a first down.
It is a first down, and they're going to move the chains. Oh, I didn't think he had any chance. He held on to that ball as far as trying to be a passer for the last absolute second, then finally tucked it in. I thought maybe he'd get pushed out of bounds well short in front of his own bench, his own sideline. Instead, he tiptoed down the sideline, and then a late spin move got him the first down. 1st and 10, Ricardo at the 32. There's a toss. That's Gardner again. Boy, nice little run, finding that hole. Good defense, though. That hole was there, but they closed it quickly. 2nd down. Boy, if you're the Mustangs right now, clock running, you're up 2 scores. You want to punch it in here, obviously, but you maybe want to take a little bit of time and burn some more clock here. 2nd and 9 at the 31-yard line. Freedom needs a big play. They need some sort of defensive
turnover,
something. Vandenberg, I think, what does he want? I think he wanted to call a timeout. He didn't like. Didn't like something. Timeout gives me a chance to plug again what we'll be doing next Friday night. We're going to Papermaker Stadium in Kimberly, just hopping the Fox River here. Big Week 8 matchup as Kimberly hosts Neenah in a game that could decide the Fox Valley Association title. Both teams are unbeaten heading into tonight's action. Live coverage will kick off at 6:45 p.m., and you can access our previous Game of the Week live streams on any of our USA Today Network Wisconsin websites. Just go to the sports section and scroll down until you see the Watch Our Varsity Game of the Week Prep live streams link. Ricardo, so far this season, Freedom with 4 games, 4 of their 5. Check that, 5 of its 6 games, 42 points or more. And right now, nothing on the scoreboard yet.
This has been impressive by the Little Chute defense on Freedom's offense, but the Little Chute offense has they've had a statement today as well, Brett.
Vandenberg is going to keep it. We'll trying to find somewhere to slither his way through inside the 30. I think they'll mark him at the 29-yard line. 3rd down coming up. Yeah, you look at Freedom. Beat New London 45-7, beat Shawano 48-7, then beat Wapaka 55-20. A shutout over Seymour 47-zip. The one that raised our eyebrows, 42-7 over longtime rival Wrightstown. And then last week was really the first time the Irish, they were pushed down 14-zip at Luxembourg Casco, coming up with 26 unanswered points to beat the Spartans. And right now, Little Chute in control of this one. 3rd down coming up. As Vandenberg, he's got time. Going to fire it up wide open. There's Thiel. Little spin move back inside and near the 10. Boy, Riccardi's wide open. And good awareness of Vandenberg. You know, he does a good job, I think. He doesn't really focus on one guy, does he? He's got the time, so he's got the confidence in his offensive line, but he's not focusing like sometimes you see these high school quarterbacks. They take the snap and they're looking at their primary read and where they want to go right away. He's kind of making that defense think a little bit, and finally finds Thiel near sideline, 1st and 10 at the 12. Very impressive performance so far from Vandenberg.
Yeah, 9 of 11 for 125 yards I have for Vandenberg. Brett, you're right. I think you described it perfectly. He's confident and checking down. He's going to his progression, going through all of them, Brett.
There again, he's kind of looking. There he's got a nice pass. Oh, off the fingertips. That was,
Brett, you jinxed him.
yeah, that was number 12, Tyler Fisher, junior wideout. I think that was a case of where he was going to make that spin move just before he focused that ball into his hand. So 2nd and 10 coming up.
But right now, this is the third just really mega long drive for Little Chute.
Looking at Little Chute's schedule, they beat Winneconne 30-0. Then Xavier, tough one right here on the turf, 14-6. Took apart Shawano 56-28. New London 35-0. Luxembourg Casco, that was a big win, 14-8. And then last week, 33-7 over FVL. The Foxes were undefeated going into that one. Vandenberg with 5 touchdown passes last week. And Jotun, little stutter step inside the 10. Down to the 9, 3rd down coming up. Mustangs can get a first down at the, 2?
Brett, that was the 11th play of the drive. So they've had 3 drives now, 10-plus plays.
Yeah, they're really racking up the yards, aren't they?
And they're controlling the time of possession. And Freedom, as you might expect, as Little Chute does, they have a lot of players that play both ways, Brett.
Not sure what the confidence level is for the Mustangs in their kicking game, but we might find out here after this 3rd down play. Vandenberg directing traffic, little toss to Jotun, looking for a blocker, cuts inside, but he's going to be brought down, and he'll be short of the first down. Ball will be maybe at the 8, see where they mark it, but I think they're going to bring out the field goal unit.
Well, you got to, relatively speaking here, that's a win for the Freedom defense, Brett, holding them to just a field goal and not a touchdown.
Let's see. They're going to, looks like a 26-yard attempt coming up for Dawson Roseman, the sophomore. 1 for 1 in PAT so far tonight. Let's see if Roseman can split the uprights on this 26-yard attempt, and that one sails through, a piece of cake. And with 2:05 to play in the 2nd quarter, 3 more points for the Mustangs, and Little Chute leads 16-0 as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard.
You said 26-yard field goal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look very confident in that kick.
I'm a little shocked at the score, Brett. I know you are as well.
We were expecting a barn burner.
We did.
And it still could. It's only 2 scores, so a long way to go. But I think you will agree, Ricardo, and all those who are watching tonight, the first half really dominated by the Mustangs, both offensively and defensively. Stick around for halftime. We've got a whole lot of stuff coming up that we'll want to talk about and promote. Our Packers show every Monday night. You guys definitely want to get down to the Paper Valley Hotel and check that out with Devondre Campbell and Amari Rogers and teammate guests. Carter Krewalt picks it up at the 25. Again, looking for that far sideline. Can he get around the corner? He does just a bit, but again, good field position at the 45-yard line. Varsity Roundtable coming up next week. R&B show. And next week's Varsity Game of the Week live stream. And anything that Ricardo has coming up. Looks like they're going to actually mark it at the 43-yard line for the Irish.
Well,
Irish with 3 timeouts to go.
And there's time here.
Oh, yeah.
So now it's a matter of, can you put something on the board to give yourself a little momentum going forward?
And don't forget Weingard, he can sling it. He's having a good season and finds number 2. It's Griner, but that was a big hit right away from, I think that might have been number 32, Jack Kang, the senior defensive back, getting in. Ball will be at the 46-yard line, 2nd down for the Irish.
Yards just hard to come by for the offense of the Irish so far in this game in the first half. Well, Brett, they were down last week as well.
Yeah, that's going to back them up 5 yards. Pre-snap penalty, false start. Well, you're right. They've got experience, don't they, in battling back, and I think that's what Clint Crewalt wants, too, as you get ready for postseason play. These two teams have already clinched postseason spots, so they know that they're in. It's just a matter of seeding, and, of course, the big one, the conference championship. But I would think if you're both of these coaches, you want to have you want to be battle-tested because, Ricardo, the road to Madison is not easy. Little direct snap. Is that? No, that's just Weingart keeping it. Third down coming up. And Freedom's going to burn a timeout.
4-yard gain just to get it to a respectable 3rd and 8. But boy, even that's a struggle right now. It's they're scratching their heads over there on the sidelines. Like, how can we crack this Little Chute defense?
Little Chute has qualified for the playoffs in every season since 2012, speaking of the postseason. Freedom has done the same in every season since 2011. Ricardo Irish have reached the state semifinals 4 times during that stretch, 2012, 15, 17, and last season, right? They've also reached the state quarterfinals 5 other times over that span. The Mustangs, meanwhile, they advanced to the Division IV state championship game in 2014 to highlight their current playoff run, falling to Somerset that night at Camp Randall Stadium, 28-16. They also advanced to the state semifinals in 2016 and 18, and the state quarterfinals 2 other times. So a lot of football success, both of these programs. So it's no surprise when you look at the big picture of how these programs have operated in the last decade that they're 6-0 overall and 4-0 in the NEC. Big third down coming up for Freedom, 3rd and 8. Weingart looks to his right. He's got the first down.
Yep.
Nice safe throw, and he was wide open. That's Carson Clausen, the junior tight end, moving the chains.
Ball's at the 44, so a gain of 11 yards for the Irish.
Yeah, quickly to the line. I don't think they quite knew where that ball was snapped, so the formation, they had to kind of get set quickly.
They got him.
Downfield, that's Crewalt. Wow, to the 5-yard line. What a big play and hookup that was, and did Freedom need that? Boy, just a beautiful seam throw from Weingart to Crewalt.
38 yards, Brett. They have plenty of time to do the Irish. So
ball at the 5. Oh, nicely done. A little play action, just a little pass over the middle, and what a big score. That's Carson Clausen on the 5-yard hookup. What a momentum changer that is.
That's boy, you talk about what they needed, a big play to get that offense going, and then the touchdown, Brett. You couldn't ask for more from that offense. Now it's a different game, Brett, going into the half if it stays this way.
We're going to go for 2. Looks like it. Try to get this down to a 1-score game. And the pass, that's good. Wow. And that is to Greg Westemeyer, and look at this. Boy, did Weingart look very confident there, and that was a really nice play designed for that touchdown pass. Little play action to Crewalt. Clausen wide open over the middle. 2-point pass from Weingart to Westemeyer as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard, and just like that, Freedom's back in it. 16-8, Mustangs lead. Heck of a drive. Boy, really set up by that connection between Weingart and Crewalt.
And that was in a hurry up, too, so I wonder how much that caught Little Chute just flat-footed a little bit, Brett.
We've gotten a couple glimpses, too, of Crewalt's speed. Looks like that's, is that number 2? Griffin Vandenhavel with the return. Now, okay, so a minute and 11 seconds to go for the Mustangs. 1 timeout remaining, and very interesting time here of the game. Boy, if Freedom could, they've got 2 timeouts to burn. It's possible they get off the field quickly, get some good field position, and maybe get another crack at it here before the half.
Well, Vandenberg is 9 of 12 for 125 yards, Brett. So the passing game has been clicking for the Mustangs.
Well, definitely time where you want to look at putting some more points on the board. Let's see how this first play goes. Jotun trying to escape. Boy, credit number 13 for the Irish, Carson Clausen. He just caught the touchdown. Now playing defensive tackle. He was holding on to Jotun for dear life. Jotun close to breaking that one open. And Jotun again, that should be a first down. That'll stop the clock. 50 seconds to play. So now Little Chute in the hurry-up offense. Ball is spotted. Clock starts. And Vandenberg now is going to pass. He's going to rainbow one, looking downfield, and caught! What a catch! Tyler Fisher with a fingertip grab along the sideline. Tight coverage. The 6'2 junior wide receiver right along the sideline, Ricardo. What a play.
Where are they marking that? What a big play by Fisher.
Ball at the 20. And another rainbow. Again, Vandenberg letting these receivers just go up there and make a play.
37 yards on that pass play, Brett.
Difficult in just grabbing that, let alone keeping your feet in with sticky coverage on top of that. So 1st and 10 for Vandenberg. He's going to hand off to Jotun. And I'm guessing the Mustangs are going to want to burn that. Nope, I think they're going to burn it and try to save some time. So 3rd timeout being used by the Mustangs.
Brett, Kimberly now down 21-7 to Fond du Lac in the second quarter.
Now we saw Fond du Lac last week. They lost 30-28 to
They
Kaukauna.
really
We
struggled.
live streamed that. Yeah, their defense was really struggling against Noah Hoffman. Almost rushed for 300 yards that night, and Kaukauna winning on a last-second field goal. But I thought defensively, Kimberly was going to roll some points and some yards up. Boy, that would be the upset of the night if that happens.
Fluker, the Fond du Lac coach, is a Kimberly grad.
Got his guys up for that one down at Fruth Field.
Apparently. It's at the half now. Menasha is up 21-7 over Notre Dame.
I don't think we're too surprised by that. I think we felt Menasha probably the class of that conference, right? Thinking they'll win the FRCC South. We saw Notre Dame and Bayport in week 2, that was. Bayport with the victory.
So 29.8 seconds left, Brett. What's in that playbook, do you think?
I think everything's in that playbook.
Okay. They have a two timeouts left.
They have no timeouts left, but you can get a first down. You can stop. You can move, clock stops, get that first down. Spike the ball. I think he definitely can go middle of the field. Let's see what Vandenberg wants to do as he motions Jotun, and watch out. He's got to get rid of it. I think he was trying to set up. You can't have that happen. Ooh. And that is a huge sack by the Irish. Boy, what a big play. Carson Clausen, Ricardo, with the big stop, and now a spike for Vandenberg with just 12.1 seconds to play.
Clausen. Well, did you think it was a setup of a screen, you
I
said,
think
Brett?
maybe that was. I was wondering that.
Well, that would make sense on how they got in so quick, the defenders.
So 4th down coming up. Hey, but look at this score now. Neenah's struggling tonight. 21-17, the Rockets with the lead at halftime. Anything can happen in the FVA, right?
Appleton North leads Oshkosh West 9-0 at the half. That's from our buddy Steve Clark. 3rd down, 16.
4th down.
4th down, you're right.
Vandenberg. You just throw it in the end zone, don't you? He's going to rainbow one. Looking downfield. And intercepted by who else? Carter Krewald. Good play. He timed that one. I think you had to do that, right? Take a shot at the end zone with 4th down, rainbow it, and Krewald playing that safety position to perfection, just rolls over and makes the interception. And I'm guessing Ricardo Freedom's just going to take a knee and regroup here at halftime.
Well, you kind of feel the momentum shift just a little bit over to Freedom's side, Brett.
Just a touch. Although that pass from Vandenberg to Fisher there. I felt it switched a little bit back
Yeah,
again.
but then the sack and the pick. Now Freedom getting out of here just down by a score, but you feel like they're happy with that.
That was a huge, huge touchdown, though, to close out this half by Freedom. A 5-yard pass from Weingard to Carson Clausen. Then Weingard finds Westmeyer for the 2-point conversion play with 1:18 to go, because it really was all Little Chute in that first half until the very end. And what was a dominating first half is just a one-score game, 16-8. So,
and Freedom gets the ball to start the second half.
Halftime here at Unison Credit Union Stadium, Fitzpatrick Field. A quick look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard shows the Mustangs leading the Irish in this big Week 7 game in the Northeastern Conference. We'll talk more about tonight's game and what we have coming up digitally at USA Today Network Wisconsin after the short break.
From the top of the 222 building on College Avenue in downtown Appleton, it's Varsity Roundtable. Ladies and gentlemen, Ricardo Arguello.
Live from a secret location somewhere in northeast Wisconsin, it's Clubhouse Live. We'll look back on how the Packers fared, we'll talk football, we'll take a peek at what's next on the schedule, and we'll have our usual fun too. We're ready. Are you ready? It's time to get started. Let's open the doors and welcome to Clubhouse Live!
Welcome back to Unison Credit Union Stadium at Fitzpatrick Field, campus of Little Chute High School. 16-8, Little Chute on top of Freedom in this Week 7 rivalry game. The battle for the county ensign, the battle for Northeastern Conference supremacy, both teams undefeated. Homecoming night, senior night. A lot of good stuff here in Week 7. Once again, thanks to our sponsors. Cellcom fall into savings this month at Cellcom with up to $500 in savings when you activate a new smartphone line and trade in your existing device. Visit cellcom.com/save for details. And Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. They have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your organization. Contact them today at 920-731-0922 or send them an email at Cooney's, COONEYS0922 at SBCglobal.net. Hey, thanks to Cooney's for some new gear, by the way.
Yes.
We're all decked out in our Cooney's gear tonight, including a big parka that we're going to need, Rosie, for the state semifinals at Titan Stadium because you know it's going to be bitter cold that night.
You guys will need it.
We're still in our shorts. Well, at least I'm in my shorts and short sleeves. So you guys, come on. It's like almost 70 degrees today and beautiful sunshine. Yeah, one more plug, guys. USA Today Sports Plus. That's the new sports app that puts the fans first. Get the latest scores, stats, and standings and enjoy interactive experiences with our award-winning sports writers. Download USA Today Sports Plus from the Apple or Google Play stores today. USA Today Sports Plus, fan harder. Ricardo, you got some more scores?
Well, just more like details in some of the scores. Menasha leading 21-7 over Notre Dame at the half. That's the big Fox River Classic Conference South Division showdown. A.J. Korth, 19 carries for 144 yards.
That's a quarterback, by the way.
Yeah, he's a quarterback, and he also has a touchdown pass to Simon Bauer-Schimmick and a touchdown run. So really doing it all for Menasha. Evan Weidenhoven, he stripped a running back for Notre Dame and returned that fumble, 35 yards for the other score. So defensively coming up big are the Blue Jays. So that's interesting. And then, of course, I think I got an update, Brett. Hold on a second. I'm looking for – I think I mentioned this already, 21-7 Fond du Lac over Kimberly. That's the surprise score of the night.
Looks like that's going to be the halftime score.
Yeah, and boy, if the Papermakers were looking for some, a challenge, this would be it, being down 2 scores at half to a bitter rival.
That's a surprise, again, because we saw Fond du Lac. I thought the Cardinals struggled defensively last week, and I thought that Kimberly offense would really put a hurting on Fond du Lac, but not the case so far down at Fruth Field. So Kimberly trailing, Nina in a tough one with Kaukauna 21-17. But Ricardo, that's the Fox Valley Association, isn't it? You've got Kimberly, that's been Kimberly. Now you got Nina, as Rosie's doing like the heavyweight jabs and stuff. That's what it is, though, because now you got Nina that, as you predicted, Ricardo, that would be your dark horse. Now they're undefeated. But Kaukauna is I don't even know. I wouldn't even call them an up-and-coming program. They're there. They're very competitive. They're very talented. A lot of good stuff with Finley Dorio at quarterback and Noah Hoffman as the running back. And you got Max Krieger and those wide receivers and a defense that can move around a little bit. So not a surprise there. And in Oshkosh West, or Oshkosh, is it West or North that's been playing pretty good? North has been
North has taken a lot of teams. Fond du Lac beat North 31-28.
Right.
In that last-second field goal by Eigenbrot.
Yeah. And then, of course, Fond du Lac was a team that was predicted to challenge for the FBA championship. So it's not easy just to kind of streak through the FBA and go undefeated. So we'll see. But that's going to be our big game next week. I'll work ahead and say that's our Varsity Game of the Week live stream again. Nina at Kimberly, Papermaker Stadium. Regardless of what happens tonight, it's still a huge game.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be a storyline, though, would be Kimberly, if they do end up losing tonight, going for a little bit more redemption. And Nina is then
the undefeated
team.
Hey, regardless, it's going to be a big game. And then how did I forget about Appleton North? I mean, with the Lightning's defense, as we talked about, is one of the
pitching
top.
Another shutout, 9-0.
Yeah, top units in the state. And Appleton East has given,
they have, and I was actually, at the end of the day tonight, or at the end of the night tonight, I sometimes to get the scores, I look through their very fine production team that does the live streams, and I've noticed that they have been in the games up till like in the third quarter.
Okay.
And then you see East just, let's be honest here, East's roster is just not as talented as the other FVA teams. But, they give it a go for at least a half or so, and then, they kind of just succumb eventually to the better teams. But that's a team right now. I'm trying to find the score here, too. It's halftime over there. Yeah, they got some pyrotechnics going on there, Rosie. Look at that over there at Appleton East. The halftime show there. Okay, it's like a KISS concert. That's cool.
So definitely keeping an eye on some of these. Wrightstown Fox Valley Lutheran would be, I think, folks watching tonight in the Northeastern Conference would be interested to know what's going on there. Both teams are 5-1 going into Week 7. Ricardo, the Tigers and the Foxes. So
Foxes
we can find a score there.
Foxes, they have a little bit of a challenge now. Their spectacular junior quarterback Liam Hyges was injured in that win over Denmark a few weeks ago. So they're kind of playing undermanned there. And Wrightstown kind of took it on the chin, didn't they, from Freedom a few weeks ago?
Yeah, we talked about that.
Or maybe that was last week.
No, that was
2 weeks ago. Okay.
Yeah, I've got it right here, Ricardo. I mentioned it a little bit earlier in the webcast. It was a 42-7 victory in Week 5, home victory for the Irish. Those games like this is usually very, very, very close. The outcomes are usually pretty like one-score type games, and instead it was a blowout for the Irish. Yeah, I don't see anything. Wrightstown FPL, send us a tweet if you don't mind. If you're on Twitter, I'm at PC Brett C. Ricardo's at PC Ricardo. Rosie's at I'm sorry, at Ricardo D. Leon. I'm sorry. You're right. DELIAN for that. And Rosie's at Metal Rosie, METALROSIE. But send us some scores, send us some updates on some of these big games that are going on. Howard's Grove and Reedsville is a good one there, and the Lakeshore and Kewaskum and Berlin we've got on there as well. St. Mary's Springs and Campbellsport. Bob Highland getting close to career win number 500. Guy's never going to stop, is he?
No, and they're on a collision course with Mayville for that flyweight title at the end of the year, week 9. They play on a Thursday against Mayville at Fruth.
Well, Monday, of course, we saw it on the halftime promos. That's our Clubhouse Live show. It's our Green Bay Packers show, season number 14. I think show number 305 we're getting ready for. But that's our Packers show at the Clubhouse Kitchen and Bar inside the Hilton Appleton Paper Valley Hotel, downtown Appleton. We're going with dual Packers co-hosts this year, Devondre Campbell, the linebacker, and Amari Rogers, the wide receiver. We had Devondre on this past Monday, and he had on Keyshawn Nixon, one of the stars of the game, along with Devondre, of course, in that win over Tampa Bay. Devondre will be back on again this week, and we'll see how the Packers fare against the Patriots, and then they're getting ready for that London trip.
Right. Is that the following week?
Yeah.
It is the following week.
We have a very special guest that following week. The guys, obviously, the Concorde doesn't exist anymore, so we can't get him back in super jet speed or whatever. So we're going to have a very special guest. All I can say right now is that he's a Packers Hall of Famer. He was remains a fan favorite. He has yet to be on our show.
And I'm not sure if I like him very much.
You're going to like him because we're going to have a big trial once he's on the show. We're going to get down to the business and figure this out once and for all. But anyway, admission is free. It's first come, first seated. Doors open at 4 p.m. We'd love to see you down there. It's a fun show. We have fun with the guys. It's very fast paced. We'll play some fun games. Halloween's coming up, so I've got some good ideas on some games again that we haven't been able to do since pre-COVID. So it's been a few years, so that'll be fun to kind of bring those back. And if you can't watch it, of course, you can always in person. You can always watch it live online. Any of our USA Today Network Wisconsin websites, including the Post-Crescent, ClubhouseLive.com, all of our Facebook pages, Facebook.com/PackersNews, and give us a like on Facebook.com/ClubhouseLive. That's where all of the show information will be posted. And Ricardo, I'm still waiting for our All-Pro linebacker, the captain, Devondre, the Captain Campbell. That's his Clubhouse Live nickname. I'm waiting to hear who he's bringing on Monday night.
Yeah. And
6:30 p.m. is kickoff for the show.
I really like the two co-host setup, Brett. I know you do as well.
Love it.
Keeps it nice and fresh. Not that it was stale before, but that brings an even more exciting element, I think, to the show.
I think it keeps the guys fresh, too, because sometimes these guys, towards the end of the season, they're just like, ugh. They're getting tired, and now they don't always have to think about it every week, and gives these guys a little bit of a breather and makes it a lot easier for them.
Coming up on Wednesday, by the way, Brett, Varsity Roundtable with Appleton North girls volleyball, so please check that out at 7 o'clock this upcoming Wednesday. We'll also plan on having the R&B Show podcast return as well. I guess that'll be released Thursday, Brett, Rosie? Yep. We tape it on Wednesday, release it Thursday, and we'll have plenty to talk about, I'm sure, because after tonight's game, we're 2 weeks from the start of the postseason. You see conferences are kind of jockeying for position, who's going to be the champ. As I'm watching the Little Shoot surfboard here, some of the cheerleaders down there. That's kind of cute. But yeah, Brett, it's an exciting time of year.
Well, 2 weeks from tonight, you'll be getting ready to stay up all night to look for the playoff pairings, right?
It's exciting. You get to find out who are in what pods. Sometimes you have to also figure out who's in Division 1, 2, and 3, because the first, I don't know how many playoff teams get placed in Division 1. Sometimes you see those teams that are right on the border kind of get knocked down in Division 2 or from Division 2 to Division 3 and so on, Brett. It's always an interesting outcome early that Saturday morning.
And I get to try to play crystal ball and try to figure out what potential playoff matchups could we be streaming.
And not only that, Brett, but we don't know. The coaches don't have those meetings anymore. They got the HAL 9000 now, determining what the matchups are.
Is that thing that crashed into the asteroid the other day? Was that what that is?
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
But I will say this: I don't know if a lot of the coaches agree necessarily with the artificial intelligence and how they kind of figure out the pairings.
Might be better if ET picked the pairings,
Yes.
maybe, huh? Yeah, I do recall some griping going on. Was that the same with basketball too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything's done by the computer, and no one knows what the what the program is.
No
how it's set up.
transparency.
Yeah, that'd be kind of nice if the WI did that. If we ever get, I have planned on getting Steph Hauser on the horn and having her for an R&B show, but that's one of the questions I'll ask her. Can you at least let everyone know what goes into that?
Well, you know what you should do, Ricardo, is just send a request to Steph and see if you can hang out with the WIA executive crew in that night.
Ha!
Maybe be in the back. Maybe they're like feeding like this computer with paper cards and all this stuff, and there's a whole bunch of buttons going on. And Stephanie Hauser, the executive director, she's wearing like a white lab coat and all that stuff, and kind of see what's going on as the computer. What is the computer? What does it look like?
The computer.
Well, that's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to that. And by the way, the R&B show, we talked about it last week. The next time we do an R&B show, we want to kind of give the athletic directors some ideas when it comes to pre-game music and I would say,
meals.
Let me say this though, Rosie and I both agree, and we're just going to put this out there now. But Little Chute heads and shoulders above any other school right now in its pre-game music. So
Well, I'm telling you right now, I'm listening to a little New Kids on the Block.
I mean, they were playing John Cougar Mellencamp, playing Bon Jovi, Bruce Springsteen.
So they're basically playing 103.9.
They're
Is that what you're telling me?
playing some Rosie type music. I don't know if they did AC/DC, but they did an excellent job because they were tunes that we knew.
They did cut on Twisted Sister. They had to make an announcement.
Well, Rosie was a little forlorn because Twisted Sister got cut short.
Again, folks, don't forget about that digital subscription. 6 months, $1. That's all. You could be right now signing up during halftime. postcrescent.com/subscribe. And that gives you access to some of Ricardo's premium subscriber-only content, right, Ricardo?
Yes.
That entails a lot of the
It does.
post-game stuff from every week here
And
in
it does,
the football season.
and not just that. And I have two wrap-up columns. I do the City of Appleton, wrapping up Appleton North, East, West, and obviously the two privates with Xavier and FEL. But then I do an Around the Valley one, kind of a takeaways from the Fox Valley that concentrates, obviously on the greater Fox Valley area. This game is going to be one of the leads along with that Notre Dame Menasha game, Brett.
Yeah.
I will say this also during the week, and this past week, if you haven't checked it out, please do. Leading my prep notes was that Grayson Clark. He was going to the Badgers, the fantastic three-time state champ from Kaukauna Wrestling. Now he's going, Brett, to Purdue. He's going to be a Boilermaker. He talked to me exclusively on why that was, why he decided to go with the Boilermakers and in a way spurn the Badgers.
Yeah,
That's a big get for the Boilermakers because he's, I think, 118-7 over his 3-year career. 3-time state champ. Brett, he's trying to be one of those rare 4-time state champions. The first it would be in Kaukana's history. Kaukana, as you know, arguably the best wrestling program, in this part of the state.
Well, if he does pick up that coveted fourth straight state championship, I can assure you that he will be one of our nominees for the Northeast Wisconsin High School Sports Award Show, with which, Ricardo, we have gotten underway. Planning is officially started. We had our first meeting on Thursday, and we are off and running. That will take place next spring. Date and location and guest speaker still to be determined, but this last year's show in May was at the Lambeau Field Atrium. Very good chance it could be back there again. Also a chance it could be maybe at the Fox Cities Performing Arts Center in downtown Appleton. So we'll see where it ends up, but two fantastic venues. We'll see what happens, but planning underway. We're going to add 8-player football now as a category as well. So a lot of good stuff and can't wait. We might add Play of the Year. We might add a Lifetime Achievement Award. So a lot of good stuff coming up. Excited, Ricardo, to get working with Todd Adams and the events team, and Mike Sherry, you, Rosie. Here we go again. Very, very successful show here in Northeast Wisconsin, and it includes all of our Central Wisconsin markets as well.
By the way, Appleton, or I should say Appleton East, now down to Oshkosh North at the half, 28-6. Let me see if I can find some of these other scores.
And just as we expected, Rosie, 3 more minutes added to halftime. You can have like 4 NFL halftimes to get through a high school halftime. But no, they have to. It's homecoming. They got all the festivities and all that good stuff. So homecoming's a fun time of year.
Excuse me.
In some ways, it feels a little early to have homecoming, but it is week 7, and tomorrow is October 1st. So it is the season. I believe, guys, next week, Kimberly, I think that's Kimberly's homecoming as well. So the Papermakers and Rockets talk about scheduling another tough one for your homecoming opponent. Getting ready for this one as Ricardo's hunting down some more scores. I'll run down the first half scoring. Little Chute, first 3 scores of the game. Drew Joten, a pair of touchdown runs, a 1-yarder with 5:51 to go in the first quarter. Capped a 12-play, 87-yard drive, and then a 3-yard score early in the second quarter. PAT was no good, 13-0. Mustangs with the lead. Then it was Dawson Roseman with the 26-yard field goal with 2:05 to play in the half, made it 16-0 Mustangs. And then just about a minute later is when Freedom finally got on the scoreboard, a 5-yard pass from quarterback Matt Weingard to number 13, Carson Clausen. And then Weingard hooked up with Greg Westemeyer for the 2-point conversion completion. And that's where we're at here at Unison Credit Union Stadium at Fitzpatrick Field. Little Chute with the 16-8 halftime lead as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard.
This is, well, Brett, this is a statewide score here, but one that is interesting. Oconomowoc leading top-ranked Mukwonago in the third quarter, 14-11.
Ricardo, is this the week of the upsets maybe, potentially?
I
Could
don't know.
Mukwonago go down? Could Kimberly go down? They're the top-ranked teams in Division I.
Yeah, I'll know it'll be that way, Brett, if I see Catholic Memorial is losing.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point. That's a Division IV team. If one of these 2 teams somehow makes a run to Madison, it's a very good shot that they would have to probably face Waukesha Catholic Memorial. Of course, you got to get past the middle border first.
Yeah,
right?
and then the middle border is no slouch, as we all know.
A lot of history between the middle border and the Northeastern Conference when it comes to state semifinals and even state championships.
St. Mary Springs leads Campbellsport 28-7. See if I can bring you some of these other scores before the start of the second half.
Again, thanks to the good folks here at Little Chute High School for setting us up in the booth. I know all of the folks here, Ricardo, working hard, and they're going to sleep very well tonight with all the festivities. That was quite the tailgate going on when I pulled in here to the parking lot. Boy, they had even food trucks out and everything.
I saw that. And if someone with significant carriage, I think that is a very cool thing.
I thought maybe that's why you were a little late up to the booth. You were just kind of sampling all the cuisine down there.
I should have. It looked great.
It smelled good, too.
I like coming. I came in off of 41, Brett, and I like going past El Jaripio.
Yes.
Did they just build that, or was that?
No, that's been there for a while now.
Okay, did they remodel it or something?
Yeah, it used to be like a supper club type place,
okay.
And then it's been a number of years. Though they have 2 locations. Not to give them some free publicity.
No, right.
Very good restaurant. I will say.
Well, it's just
that,
you can't
sure.
miss it when you drive in here.
Yeah, it's a good location when you got all the fans and stuff, and I know Little Chute hosts a lot of different tournaments and.
Well, at the half, Denmark's leading Luxembourg Casco 28-10. So that's an interesting. NEC.
Denmark's leading that game.
Yeah, 28-10 over Lux Casco. De Pere is beating Preble 14-7.
Okay. You saw the Redbirds in week 1, of course. Gabe Herman, their very talented quarterback, went down. I don't know when he's expected back or if he's expected back, but the Rockets won that night pretty convincingly, and it's been a little bit of an uphill battle for the Redbirds ever since. That's one of actually Ricardo's Elite 11 players. Carter Krewalt on that list as well.
Absolutely. We're getting ready to start here as Freedom will receive.
What happened?
And false start from the Mustangs.
Got a little antsy to get that second half underway. Yeah, Ricardo's Elite 11 football, terrific 10 girls volleyball teams. You can find that on postcrescent.com as well. But is that premium content? Or is
it is.
It is. You need that subscription, folks. $1 for 6 months. As I said before, it takes you, if you're a big high school sports fan, takes you all the way through the winter season as well. Try this kickoff again after the false start.
Yeah, and that looks like that's Rashad Mans, sophomore kicker, sophomore running back, or receiver, defensive back, I'm sorry.
Should be a pretty good field here for the Irish, and that is far side. Wow.
Reiner.
Yeah, Gavin Reiner with a big return, and look at this start for the Irish. Kind of picking up where they left off there to end the second half, or the first half. So a chance here, a golden opportunity. Irish going to take over, or start, I should say, at the 46-yard line. A chance to perhaps tie this game up with a touchdown drive.
Let's see what Coach Krewald had in terms of, that's always the chess match, right? You see, Brett.
Adjustments upon adjusting to the adjustments. Weingard waiting for it, going to fire it over to the left side, wide open, getting some space. And that passing game really starting to heat up, and you can see a little emotion by Kyle Worster, the senior wide receiver, after the catch. Ball will be right at the 30-yard line.
What number is he? Why can't I find him? Kyle Worster.
Number 30.
There we go.
So 1st and 10, Weingard and this Freedom offense now starting to heat up. A little, I guess, we've got to give that a pass, right? He kind of shoveled that forward, a little shovel pass to Carson Clausen, the tight end. And now you're starting to see Freedom, Ricardo, as much of a focal point and a centerpiece as Carter Krewald is, trying to get some other guys in the mix, right? Try to loosen things up maybe for him to hit a home run here at some point.
Well, you can't pass up this field position. I mean, you're down 16-8. A score and a 2-point conversion. This game goes back to 0-0 effectively, Brett. And then you kind of forget about that first half where, for the majority of it, Freedom kind of underperformed, Brett.
Yeah, you're right. Anybody's game if the Irish can finish this off as Weingard.
Look out.
Watch out. Thiel was there. And incomplete. Boy, Thiel bringing the pressure.
He
He's
did.
A talented two-way player, wide receiver, defensive lineman, defensive end there coming along the edge. 6'5", 200-pound senior.
He plays – okay, I'm going to try to explain this, Brett. 6'5", 200 pounds. He plays bigger than that on defense, but he plays lighter than that on offense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's really
he's very agile, but he does have some punch when he's coming off the edge there. I see him right now. 2-point stance. He's in there again.
Oh, just missed it. Boy, well, watch out. I think he was the one that kind of blew that up, and then Ricardo, number 35, Cody Bergen, the senior defensive lineman, bringing Weingard down. But credit Hunter Thiel, Ricardo, he got in there again fast, and that's a big body coming at you, like you said, fast around the edge. 6'5", and he's beating his man and forcing now the punt for the Irish.
And Freedom,
that's big.
That is big. Freedom missed opportunity here. When you get the ball inside Little Chute territory, you cannot pass up those opportunities. Takes an Irish bounce inside the 10.
So that's where Ted Evers is saying, I wish we didn't have turf. You get
Good point,
those turf bounces, right? So Little Chute with the big stop. It looked like Freedom was on the move, but Hunter Thiel making his presence known as Weingard ends up being sacked by Bergen and now sets up a long field.
And now here's an opportunity
for
the Mustangs to kind of, flip field position at least. But if you're able to get a score here, I mean, that would entail an offense that's really functioning at a high level as they were in the first half.
Yeah, Jotun nowhere to go was the Freedom defense closing things out. 1st and 10 at the 8 is where that drive starts.
16 carries, 109 yards I have for Jotun unofficially. 1 yard carry on that. 9:40 and counting left in the third quarter.
Now we're kind of getting the game we expected, right? Now it feels like this could be one of those defensive, as I like to call them, slobber knockers, right?
Yep.
Both teams just kind of punching each other, and we'll see which one is able to withstand the blows the best here. Second down coming up for the Irish. Or check that, the Mustangs.
Look out.
Yeah, he's going to keep it. He's going to run. That was a good decision
And
by
there's a
Vandenberg.
flag.
Yeah, that's coming back, isn't it? Dives for the first down, Ricardo, but I believe that one is going to be marched back.
Vandenberg's got good wheels, though.
Yeah, he does.
Escapability, always an underrated trait for a quarterback.
Football at the 5-yard line will be 2nd and 13 for the Mustangs. Correction, 4-yard line.
So Ricardo, that will put the ball officially at the 4, barely just kind of past the 3, really. And second down coming up for Little Chute.
2nd and 14 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, what
And-
we got again. Now, who's this on the Freedom this time? So now we're going to get a little bit of a sloppy sequence here. Give the Mustangs a little bit of breathing room. Let's try it again.
Yeah, do over.
Oh, watch out. Watch out. Boy, he just doesn't go down. Tough, hard run by Jotun. That's a big first down run. And credit again that offensive line creating that seam for Jotun to get through. Doesn't need much because he's so fast and attacks that hole. And once he does, watch out because as we saw earlier in the game with that long run he had, he's a home run threat.
17 carries, 130 yards for Jotun.
Yeah, two good running backs going at it in this game.
First down and 10 at the 30.
Oh,
Look
wow.
at Vandenberg get away from
What a
pressure.
run that is by your quarterback.
Oh, it takes out a
Oh,
coach.
are they going to get another? What? Is everybody okay over there? Let's make sure. Boy, he took a pretty good hard spill.
Coach has got to keep his head on a swivel.
Get those coaches some pads too, Ricardo. Yeah, Vandenberg, he fooled me. I thought Jotun had it. That was a good play fake. I was actually watching number 7, thinking he had the ball. All of a sudden I see Vandenberg on the run, and tough to bring down, isn't he?
He's impressed me tonight. Really good quarterback. He's really progressed over the season. He's getting better every game, it appears.
Potential Elite 11 next year for you, Ricardo, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we got a planche, right? We got Fenley Dorio from Kaukauna. We got the one, no one's talking about him because he plays for Clintonville, but Cade Rosenau leads the state in touchdown passes. A couple of good quarterbacks.
They're all coming back, aren't they?
They certainly are.
That's a Freedom kid who
that's number 10, Caden Prodal.
Yep, a senior cornerback. So he's was limping a little bit more before. Hopefully he can kind of walk that off as he heads to the sideline, get back on the field. Looks like he's going to be all right, so that's good to see. Battle for the County N sign, Ricardo. I think it was one of the neater trophy games around. Talk a little bit about how that got started here in a little while, but I know China Bowl is
China Bowl.
That's up your alley, being an Omro grad, right?
It is.
I was a Spash grad. We had the old River Jug between the Panthers and Wisconsin Rapids was the game between the prize between those two schools. Oh, that's got to be. Is that a handoff? That was good.
It was behind the line of scrimmage.
It was not a handoff officially, but does that go down?
I'll
as a
count
rush?
it as a rush. Ball's placed at the 50, so 7-yard gain for Jotun.
And think about where the Mustangs were only moments earlier, right? They were inside their own 5, down about the 4-yard line. And now here they are at midfield, second down. Mustangs earlier tonight had an 87-yard scoring drive. And Vandenberg hands off to Jotun. Oh, good pursuit. That was number 13, Carson Clausen, but I also want to say that might have been number 64, Lucas Van Grinsven, a senior defensive tackle, getting in on that.
Cade Stingle with the second touchdown of the game for Shiocton. Cade Stingle, of course, the outstanding hurdler, Brett. And Shiocton is tied with Wittenberg-Burnhamwood, 13-all.
There you go. Clint Krewalt's Shiocton football team, right? So, yeah, Cade Stingle, boy, what an athlete he is. Imagine he will be one of our track nominees for the Northeast Wisconsin Sports Awards show. Hand up, no, he kept it. He had it to Jotun, and he just keeps. Look at Vandenberg go down the sideline, still on his feet, and he is in. No, they're going to say he stepped out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Looked like he was down the sidelines, but the official. What's going on here? Do we have a flag on top of that?
Oh, is it against Little Chute? Oh, boy.
Oh, it's coming back, isn't it?
That is unfortunate because that was a really nice run by Vandenberg.
They're picking up the flag.
Oh, okay. Wait, but
what is going on here?
Little Chute's not happy. Ted Evers is trying to have his team just kind of be
He's
quiet.
An opposing coach, so you're going to listen to Ted when
what happened here?
I can't tell what's going on. Ted kind of calming everybody down. Well, I saw an official standing at the 35-yard line looking like Vandenberg must have gone out of bounds over there, but they're going to put the ball
it's at the 42.
At the 42 instead.
Okay.
It's a fresh set of downs. Still don't know what was going on there.
So it's still a first down run for Vandenberg.
Well, he had that in Jotun's belly, and Jotun was trying to squeeze on that football, and then the
pulled it
quarterback
right
said,
out.
I'm taking it.
Yeah.
You're reading the defense the entire way. So 1st and 10 at the Freedom 42.
Strange series of events there.
Yeah, not quite sure what was going on. And Vandenberg, this time he'll hand off to Jotun, and not much there. Credit number 13 for slowing Jotun down. That's the defensive tackle. Again, Carson Clausen, we've called his name quite a bit. Had the touchdown reception as a tight end earlier in the game for the Irish.
Muskego now up over. Well, this isn't right. Is it Arrowhead they're playing? I thought they were playing another school, but it's 20-14 Muskego.
2nd and 9 for the Mustangs at the 41-yard line. Long drive. Boy, Freedom defense, Ricardo needs to get off the field here. And we'll see what Vandenberg can do against that defense. Fires over. There's a nice little pitch and catch to number 5, Caden Kerrigan, the senior wide receiver. Marking it at the 35-yard line, so 3rd and 3 coming up. We talked about both teams of vying, winner of this one is in first place in the NEC. Freedom recently won conference titles in 2020 and 2019. 2019 team finished 8-0 in the league. Little Chute's most recent Northeastern Conference championship, I think you all remember, back in 2018. That was the Mustangs' first conference title since 2002. They finished 8-0 in league play. Noah Miller was the quarterback. Isaac Van Derzen, I think, was the offensive player of the year. The very good running back.
Ooh.
Wow, look at that big hole by Jotun. Fumble! Oh, and
Freedom
it's the Irish ball. That is exactly what Freedom needed to do. That was number 6 coming up with it, Greg Westmeyer, and there's a big turnover. That is what they needed to do to get off that field. That was a good first down run by Jotun. I didn't see it was punched out, and Westmeyer fell on it. And now the Irish finally get the stop that they need. And you can kind of see Jotun out there a little exasperated. He's going to stay out there on defense, and let's see if the Irish can turn a Little Chute turnover into some points. Freedom needed it. So 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line for Weinberg and this offense. Let's see if, little play fake to Krewalt. Nice catch. That's number 2, Greiner with the fingertip catch. Took a nice little hit by actually Vandenberg. He stays in as well. Ball at the 36-yard line. Weingard's a good, nice-looking quarterback as well, and having a nice season. Sometimes you think about Freedom, you think of just kind of that ground and pound, right? 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but no, they're multi-dimensional as well, and they've got some very good, talented receivers, and of course Carter Krewalt and Weingard. He's going to fire again, and that was intended for Clausen, just a little too far in front of the tight end, but a very talented offense that can tie this one up quickly.
Clausen, I mean, it just looks like Weingard's just kind of going on his first read. Weingard was really covered well there, so that was a dangerous pass for Weingard.
Well, keep in mind, of course, that pass rush, right? Little Chute's getting home. So Weingard maybe thinking he's got to get rid of that ball quickly before the pocket collapses. This time it's a handoff to Krewalt. Not a whole lot there. I think you got to give credit to number 55 for the Mustangs, Lakin Dirks. He kind of set the edge there. I think Krewalt wanted to go outside and just wouldn't let him, and let his teammates bring down Krewalt, now forcing a 3rd and 11.
He has been shut down, Krewalt. I don't think he has more than a handful of rushing yards. He has that one big catch at the end of the first half, though, that led to the touchdown.
So here you go, big 3rd down play for Matt Weingard as he drops back. Watch out, and he's going to be sacked. That's number 35, Cody Bergen, coming in. He's listed as the defensive lineman, Ricardo. He's wearing like a defensive back number, so I don't know if he's along that line, but he shot through, almost looked like a blitz, but I think he just beat his man in the trenches and got in the backfield.
So big loss of down. Yeah, I mean, it's back at the 25, so you're looking at a 4th and 21 and an obvious punting situation for Freedom.
So another defensive stop. And, yeah, some good field position presumably for the Mustangs as Jotun back to receive this punt. Nice high punt. And Freedom is going to down it. That's number 30, making sure it didn't get any farther. Kyle Worcester. And Little Chute will have it in pretty good spot here.
First and 10, it'll be at the 47, near midfield for Little Chute. Start of the 4th quarter, Menasha is leading Notre Dame 21-14. Good game there. Have yet to get another update from Nina Kakana
or Kimberly
Fondolak.
Still
I'm going to look.
I just looked at the Maker.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Twitter account, still 21-7. And Jotun, no, that's Vandenberg. Wow, who's got it? Jotun has it.
Brett, they had you all
I'm
over
all
the place.
over the. Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking at right now. They're really doing a good job with their fakes. Jotun slow to get up, and that's not good to see if you're a Mustangs fan.
Both offensively and defensively, he is a pivotal player.
Yep. Looks like he's just going to have to kind of walk that off a little bit. He'll trot to the sideline. Trainer will tend to him. Didn't notice if Prodel was back in. No, he is, so it's good to see he's back in there for that Irish defense.
It looks like it's a cramp for Jotun.
A warmer night than you'd expect here on September 30th. So 2nd down and 8 to go for Little Chute here. Good battle between these rivals, and as we expected, a close one so far. Look at Hunter Thiel with the handoff, nowhere to go. And look at who's in there bringing them down. That's Carter Krewalt.
Did a great job of recognition on that play.
Looking like
loss of 2.
Playing like his dad there, right? Looking like a linebacker coming in from that safety spot and wrapping up. Good form tackle, forcing a 3rd and long for the Mustangs. 3rd and 10. Winner of this game tonight will be the last remaining undefeated team in the Northeastern Conference, a conference that has just had a dominant season. You look at FVL and Wrightstown tonight, both 5-1. Little Chute has the Tigers next week. And
timeout for Little Chute, Brett. Arrowhead leads Muskego 21-20. I'd like to find that McWanago score, though, too. They're playing Oconomowoc.
Again, folks, don't forget about that digital subscription, $1 for 6 months. That gives you a full access on your desktop, tablet, and mobile devices every day. It also includes the e-edition. Gives you the opportunity to check out all of Ricardo's post-game stories and quotes and comments. That's subscriber only. As I said before, if you're a big high school sports fan, and how can you not be around here with all the talent we have, regardless of the sport, it'll take you all the way through what should be a fun winter season as well. Actually, and even into the spring. A lot of good stuff going on with USA Today Network Wisconsin. A lot of good stuff going on here at Unison Credit Union Stadium. 16-8 Mustangs with the lead as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's embroidery and sportswear scoreboard.
3rd and 10 from the 47 for Little Chute.
Well, you got to look for number 84, don't you? If you're Vandenberg, he's going to drop back.
Whoa, look
Watch
out.
out. Wow. Wow, what a loss and what a sack that was by Nathan Brownson. The junior defensive end coming in there basically unblocked. Vandenberg had no chance there.
Loss of 12, and
Ricardo, both defenses now are really starting to tighten up. Well, Little Chutes has been pretty much the whole game, but Freedom is really starting to lock down now the Mustangs. Getting the big turnover on the last offensive possession. And now look at this, 4th and forever after that big sack by Brownson.
Red, I'm watching this Fond du Lac Kimberly. It's 24-7 Fond du Lac in the 4th quarter, early in the 4th.
That's looking like the paper makers are going to go down. Ooh, big punt there, and Krewalt has it, and he's looking for something, and not much there as Caden Kerrigan brings down Krewalt. And what's going on here? Is Krewalt okay? Yep, he's going to get up. Oh. He's going to stay in. Looks like he's all right.
Nino's up 28-17 over Kaukauna. That's actually a pretty good game as well. Where are they marking this? At the 27? 1:17 left here in the 3rd.
That Kimberly score is shocking right now. Just shocking. I honestly said it a few times. I thought Kimberly was going to go and roll over Fond du Lac. I didn't think the Fond du Lac defense was going to be able to stick with Kimberly's offense, but not so much. Handoff, that's number 33 for the Irish. Levi Baumgart, senior running back and linebacker for Clint Krewalt.
I hope it wasn't Kimberly kind of looking a game ahead.
I can't imagine.
I can't imagine that. Not against Fond du Lac.
No, and that's just not the culture of that program. That coaching staff wouldn't allow that to happen. I think you just got to give Fond du Lac a lot of credit. 2nd down, ball at the 30-yard line for Weingard and the Irish as Krewalt goes in motion. Another handoff. Ooh, watch out. 33 bringing down 33, right? Baumgart with the carry, but how about Josh Verhagen, the senior linebacker, holding on? And we'll see if that's the final play of this 3rd quarter. I think that is going to wrap up the 3rd quarter here at Unison Credit Union Stadium. Well, we got a good battle here in Week 7. We knew it would be. Most times when these two rivals hook up, it's a close game. And 12 minutes to go at Fitzpatrick Field, 16-8 Mustangs with the lead as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's embroidery and sportswear scoreboard. So how about this, guys? A little history lesson, right? The county ensign.
Yeah.
Little Chute and Freedom play for the county ensign. That was the idea of former Mustangs coach Greg Enns, who's now the head coach at Manitowoc Lincoln. And I reached out to Coach Enns this week to get some more background, the skinny on how the trophy came to be. He actually said current Little Chute coach Ted Evers was also instrumental. Ted emailed me back and said, no, Greg was the one who was instrumental. So they're both giving each other credit. But according to Enns, he said the goal was simply, quote, to create a rivalry, end quote, given the close proximity of these communities. Only 9 miles separate Little Chute from Freedom. You can get from one to the other, of course, by just traveling up and down County N.
That's true.
and the county end sign first came into play around 05, 06, 07. Neither Enns nor Evers could pinpoint the exact season. Enns said it was Little Chute's rivalry with Xavier that was at the forefront at the time. He thought with Little Chute and Freedom being so similar in communities and school size, and watch out Weingard as he's on the run, deep pass downfield, and it's almost.
Wow.
Westmeyer almost came up with it. That was a heck of a throw by Weingard. Now 4th down coming up, and Freedom's going to have to punt it back. Close, Ricardo.
It was.
But, yeah, Little Chute Xavier, that was a pretty big rivalry at the time. You thought the Little Chute Freedom were similar type schools, close to and we just wanted to create more of a buzz in that series. As he put it, quote, was an opportunity that was so natural. Now, as for the sign itself, I'll talk about that here in a moment because I have questions about where you get a county sign, a road sign.
4th and 3 in the punt.
And Jotun going to just let that one bounce out of bounds, and the Mustangs will have it at about the 27, 28-yard line. So, yeah, I asked, where did the sign come from? Because it is an actual road sign, Ricardo. It's not some fabricated sign. And said, quote, it was gotten through permission from the DOT, end quote. Okay. He said if there was any signs missing along the road during that time period, it was coincidental.
Okay.
All right, it was gotten. It had to be, right? You just can't hold up a sign that you swiped off the road. So the DOT gave them the permission to use the county end sign, and that's where the trophy goes back and forth.
I'm sure all they had to do was, pay for another one or whatnot.
Maybe they were just replacing one, and they had an extra. So, but it is really cool trophy that these two teams play for actually quite a number of years now. So, ball at the 28-yard line is Vandenberg. He's going to fire it downfield, and wow, Thiel with the catch.
Fumble.
And it stayed in bounds. That's Freedom. Yeah, he's got it. And Freedom now with another turnover. But there's a flag on the play.
That was after the interception.
Well, there was a lot going on that far sideline. He made a spectacular catch in front of that Freedom bench, but then it was knocked free. And somehow Ricardo stayed in bounds despite being on the turf.
Well, this is a
big play.
Yeah, that's on Freedom on the run back, and it is a first down.
So the turnover again. That's back 2 out of the last 3 series for the Mustangs, ending in turnovers. How many turnovers does Little Chute have tonight? Seems like it's been more, maybe 3. I think they had one in the first half as well. So Freedom now will have the ball on its own 45-yard line here with another chance to try to even this thing up. Weingard waiting. Play fake to Krewalt, nothing there. Watch out. And that play was going nowhere. Weingard had nowhere to go, and a whole bunch of blue jerseys came free and dropped Weingard for a 2-yard loss.
I believe Kimberly just scored, Brett, so it might be 24-14 now.
Kind of finished that thought by Enns, though. He said that the rivalry as we now know it really took off in 2012 when the team split that season. Little Chute won 13-6 in the regular season, but Freedom won the rematch 36-7 in the Division IV state quarterfinal. That's where it really kind of maybe the blood started to boil a little bit. But as Ann said, these two programs, 2 of the better ones in the state in Division IV. So I appreciate Greg Enns for checking in. Good to talk with him again. As Weingard, he's got a hold, looking for some space. Finally brought down by Vandenberg. Probably saved a first down there. So 3rd down coming up for Freedom.
Yeah, it looks like it's just inside the 50. So it makes it a 3rd and manageable. We'll call it the 57-yard gain for Weingard. 3rd and a long 4. We'll call it 5, actually.
Yeah, is this 4-down territory, do you think, Ricardo?
It has to be.
Do you think so? I think
yes.
I'd punt it away. The way my defense is playing right now for Freedom, I'd punt it back, try to pin Little Chute deep. We'll see, though. Still 3rd down coming up for the Irish. Carter Krewald, watch out. He's at the 35. Boy, I thought he was close to maybe breaking that one open.
That's his best run of the day. Takes it to the 37, 13-yard gain for Krewald. I mean, he hasn't had much in terms of an open hole or anything.
First and 10. That was a big first down run by Krewald. Handoff. It's a little play fake, and
The ref was kind of in the way in that one.
yeah, they're trying to use the ref as an extra player, right? Use them. I think that was intended for Griner. And 2nd and 10 coming up. Kind of looking across the way. You can't really see it. You wouldn't be able to see it on the stream, but I see some cars parked. I wonder if they're trying to kind of watch the game from the road over there behind the fields and the stadium. Checking it out. Hey, put your phone on and watch the live stream. 2nd and 10.
Exactly.
Hand up. Nope. Weingard doing a good job with the fakes. And where is he going to be marked? Close to the first down. And now Freedom's got something cooking here with under 10 minutes to play.
Are they giving them that first down? Where are they marking this? Right at the 27.
That's going to be close. And I think they might have to measure.
Well, Brett, now they just gave him the first. Brett, that Weingard, there's so much attention on Krewald. He was able to find some room there as the defense kind of flowed toward Krewald on that fake.
You got to pay attention to him, don't you? I mean,
Yeah.
he's such an athlete, having a heck of a season, so keeping the defense honest, and Weingard doing a good job reading the defense, and he's got some wheels too. Both these quarterbacks impressive with how they can sling it down the field, but making plays with their legs too. So 1st and 10, ball at the 27?
Yep.
And Weingard going to keep it again, and right now he's getting some big yards. He's going to go into in the end zone, 27 yards out. What a run and good blocking. 2-point conversion play away from tying this one up.
Brett, you can see the adjustment that they made. Instead of making Krewald the featured back, they have him in motion and have him almost like in one of those kind of jet sweep kind of areas.
Mm-hmm.
And it allows more room for Weingard to find running the ball. Nice adjustment by Freedom on the offensive end.
Oh, what a game we have here.
So a 2-point conversion attempt. Brett, I'm going to have to follow you on this. Is the way we're set up here, I can't really see.
You can see Weingard and Krewald kind of talking to each other. Krewald kind of lining up in that slot position, so
Shaking here in the press box.
yep, Weingard looking for something. He's trying to push his way in. Is he in? The Freedom is saying he's in, and he is in. He just kind of bullied his way in. I thought he was going to be stood up. That scrum pushed him in. And Weingard's 2-point conversion run ties this up at 16 apiece.
Well, it's what we expected now, isn't it, Brett?
It sure is. .27-yard run by Weingard. He follows that with a very hard-earned 2-point conversion run. And with 8:42 to play in this game, 16 apiece as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's embroidery and sportswear scoreboard. Ricardo turning points again, or turning a turnover into 8 points.
All tied up here. Just updating my Twitter. You can follow me at PC. Oh, I almost did it, Brett. At Ricardo DeLeon, DELIAN. Brett at PC Brettsy. Rosie at Metal Rosie.
Well, here we go. Little Chute jumped out, 16-0 lead. Late first half, they seem to be well under control. And now the Irish with a lot of momentum. And here's a big return. That's Kerrigan inside the 50 into Freedom territory. What a return that is by Caden Kerrigan.
Appleton North leading 19-0 now.
I see Neenah up now 35-17 over Kaukauna, so looking like the Rockets will be going into next week's big FEA showdown undefeated. We'll see if Kimberly can mount a comeback.
No, I don't think so, Brett. They just fell back again 31-14. Fond du Lac must have just scored on offense. to answer the Kimberly
Wow,
touchdown.
what is going on? 31 points.
Maybe this is the Fond du Lac team that we kind of finally expected, Brett.
First things first, week 7. We got to see how this is going to finish up. A hard-earned couple of yards there for Brock Gardner, the sophomore running back. 2-yard gain. Ball will be at the 45-yard line.
Jotun still out, Brett? Yeah, I see him on the sidelines here.
Oh, yeah. He's trying to stretch that out, isn't he? 2nd and 8. Whoa, watch out. Good hands by Vandenberg, and he's bailing on that, trying to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's going to lose a couple yards. Ricardo's going to be 3rd and 10. Boy, big play. Can the Irish get off the field again? Boy, the momentum is completely flipped, hasn't it? It's all for that team in the green and yellow across the field.
Well, we talk about how important momentum is and turnovers, Brett. Am I right? They are the biggest momentum shifters.
3rd and 10.
I personally like going to Thiel here.
Yeah. Vandenberg drops back. Going to fire it downfield and just overshot. Oh, there's a flag. Whole bunch of flags. And they're going to get a pass interference call, aren't they?
Wow, was that even catchable, though?
I'm not sure.
That was at least 10 yards past the receiver.
Well, Tyler Fisher, the intended receiver, but maybe he couldn't get there because there was some clutching and grabbing. It's tough to tell from our vantage point. That's far across the field. But in any event, that's a huge penalty coming up.
Again, at the high school level, it's 15 yards.
And first down now, too.
Right.
So that'll put the ball where at the 32-yard line?
Yep.
Wow, that's a huge penalty. Huge penalty. Yeah, 31-14, Fondy on top of Kimberly. I think the Papermakers, Ricardo, are going to run out of time in that one. And now the Rockets could next week win that, come close to clinching no worse than a tie. Freedom wants to talk things over.
That would send shockwaves throughout
That'd be the upset of the night.
Well, we don't know that because last time I saw, Oconomowoc was leading number 1 ranked Muskego.
Yeah, maybe both top teams.
Let me see if I can find that.
The Rockets might move up in the standings there, or the polls. Well, again, we're back at it next Friday night. We're going to be at Papermaker Stadium in Kimberly, not a couple miles down the road from here, Rosie. Go over the County End Bridge, and we'll be in Kimberly. Papermakers hosting Neenah. We'll go live at 6:45 p.m. from Papermaker Stadium.
21-18, Mukwonago leads over Oconomowoc with about 7 minutes and change left in the fourth.
A lot of time. Yeah, that's right. We gotta see if there are any of those legendary triple chocolate donuts from Van Thal. I'm gonna give him an email. Mike Van Thal, if you're listening or watching tonight, we want those donuts. Oh, there was movement along that offensive line, a little flinch. So 1st and 10 becomes 1st and 15. And, the nerves, right, tightening up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I will say, Oconomowoc is 3-3, Brett.
Yeah.
And they're taking Mukwonago to the hilt here.
You never know what can happen. There's a little, is that incomplete? I'm going to say that's incomplete. Intended for number 41, Cal Moronic. But that Freedom defense now, Ricardo, seems to be a little bit more pep to its step, right? They're really flying around the field.
Well, they need a big stop here. This is a 2nd and 15 situation for Little Chute. Again, Brett, I know maybe I'm just belaboring the point here. I love that matchup between Thielen and anybody else.
Yeah.
6'5" receiver. I talked about how he plays even taller than that. Really good hands. And that's not to take anything away from number 12, Tyler Fisher. He's had some big catches tonight as well.
2nd and 15 for Little Chute. As Vandenberg waiting for the snap. Now he's looking downfield, trying to set up a little screen.
Oh,
That's Jotun. He's got a whole bunch of blockers. Watch out. Good play call there. Jotun back into the game, and they really sold that well. Whole bunch of blockers in front of Drew Jotun for the first down.
It's a first down, yeah, exactly, Brett. And, boy, that's exactly what Little Chute needed.
You got an update on that Kimberly game again. Now it seems to be going bananas. 31-21 Fondy with less than 5 minutes left.
Okay.
So maybe some time for the paper makers. We'll see.
Need a miracle.
We got a lot of time left in this one here. Heck of a game here in Week 7. There's Jotun. Lloyd looking for some space, holding on to that football nice and tight. Whole bunch of Freedom defenders trying to rip that ball out. 2nd down coming up.
"23 carries. I have him for 152 yards, Brett, for Jotun. That's unofficial, of course.
2nd down, ball at the, what? Is that the 16-yard line?
Yeah, 2nd down and 5.
There's Jotun again, looking for some space, dives.
He just kind of glides into the line. I mean, turns himself sideways a little bit.
Big stop or big moment here. 3rd down coming up. The Irish chance to force Little Chute into a field goal situation, which can sometimes be adventurous for high school teams. Ball at the 15-yard line. And give yourselves a chance to perhaps win the game with a scoring drive. We'll see what happens here on 3rd down. Vandenberg, he's going to roll right. He's looking, throws, and
picked off.
Is that?
Yes.
It is intercepted.
The pass was a little too far for his intended target, Brett, and that was number 6 for Freedom. That's Westmeyer.
Wow. I was kind of shielded. I couldn't see around where I was trying to look, but what a time for another turnover for that Freedom defense, Ricardo.
Hey, bend but don't break, and then it gets to the point where they're making plays. But right now, that offense is in right in the
about the 3-yard line.
Yeah, they got their end zone right behind them. Got to be very careful here, Brett.
Boy, what an interception that was by Westmeyer, and now an opportunity with 4:59 to play. This Freedom team try to put the winning points on the board.
And was that Wingard again? I can't tell.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, Weingart with the run. I feel like at some point Krewalt's going to kind of bust one, though, right?
Yeah, you feel like that's coming.
Yeah.
They have plenty of time here. I mean, I know they're at their own 5, but with 4 minutes plus, you got plenty of time and all your timeouts. Can run your complete offense here. 2nd down and 8 from the 5. Oh, nice pass and completion, Brett, to number 30. That is Worcester.
It is, but there was not much there.
How did he get rid of it, though?
I don't know. So 3rd and about 3.
3rd and 7.
Oh, sorry, 3rd and 8. My bad.
Oh, was that an incompletion?
Yeah, they're calling it incomplete pass. Okay. So ball at the 5.
Well, here another big play for Little Chute's defense here. You force the 3 and out. Plenty of time for them on the way back.
Weingard. Oh, wow.
Way too much space.
Yeah.
What happened there?
And that's Krewalt. There you go. Right when you need him the most, he comes up with
Brett,
one of the biggest plays of the night offensively.
Right, but that has to be a blown coverage. It's no way you'd have their best offensive player all by himself.
That's a big third down completion for the Irish as Krewalt.
18 yards.
18-yard reception on, was that 3rd and 8?
Yeah, first down and 10 at the 23 for Freedom. 5 receivers set. Krewalt now in motion. They've ran out of this.
Weingard has it, and right now he's brought down quickly by Jotun. I think number 53 was in on that as well. Wyatt Kilgus, a senior defensive lineman. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Battle for the county ensign. That's one of the prizes, but the biggest prize is taking sole possession of first place in the Northeastern Conference. And, he's wide open, Ricardo. That's number 19, Owen Whedon. That's a junior tight end. And 3rd and short coming up as the clock continues to run.
Yeah, 3rd and 2, Brett. Nice little chunk play, though, on the passing game. Now 3rd and short, you can do a couple things, run or pass. But I think they're taking a little too much time here. You might want to show a little bit more hustle. 3rd and 2, just under 3 minutes now. All tied up here between Little Chute and Freedom. Freedom driving.
Watch out. Weingard was feeling that pressure just too far for Krewalt.
All right, well, now it's a punting situation, isn't it? You can't go for 4th and 2 here.
That's pretty risky on that at that spot of the field, right? How about your quarterback in coverage there? That was Vandenberg looking to keep up with Krewalt.
Well,
yeah, and Jotun's going to go back to receive this punt. Would you do a fake?
I don't think I'm that much of a gambler.
Is Clint Krewalt the gambler, though? That's the question.
Well, you do have your best player as the punter.
Yeah. It's gutsy, but we'll see. I thought maybe he was going to tuck it in. Jotun calls for the fair catch, and he does.
Yep, that's what you got to do.
I was waiting for him to maybe take off. He was sort of getting a little stutter step there.
Well, now Little Chute has a shot here, Brett, to win this game going away. 2:38 left.
Well, too many turnovers, though, Ricardo.
Absolutely.
This Mustangs offense has been turning it over way too much, but credit this Freedom defense. And both defenses have really clamped down. Little Chute hasn't scored a touchdown since 10:47 to go in the second quarter. That was the second of Drew Jotun's rushing touchdowns, a 3-yard score. First and 10, Vandenberg. A little swing pass over to Kerrigan. And gets a few. I just noticed that Freedom defense looks faster right now.
Gain of 3 on that play, 2nd and 7. Crazy game between Oconomowoc and Mukwonago, Brett. Oconomowoc takes a lead 25-21, but Mukwonago just scored with 25 seconds left to take a lead. 28-25. That's nuts.
Never know what can happen. You kind of get some of those in week 1 of the playoffs, too, right? Some crazy matchups, crazy scores, maybe some upsets here and there. We'll see what happens here, though. As we expected, this was going to be a nip-and-tuck game, and now Vandenberg looking for something. Dives. He'll be short. 3rd down coming up. He'll be short by about a yard. Ball's going to be at the 41-yard line. Again, both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. Clock continuing to run as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear scoreboard. Let's see what the Mustangs want to do, Ricardo. They got the wide side of the field, and Thiel is on that wide side. A lot of field to work with. Nope, they're going to hand it off to Jotun. And I think he got it. Let's see where they mark it.
Past.
So just wanting to get a fresh set of downs. Ball at the 43-yard line as we hear the Little Chute fans cheering that first down in front of us. Clock now winds up again, under 2 minutes of play. What a game, huh?
What we expected. First down and 10 at the 43.
Typically a barn burner when these two teams meet up. Not always, but more times than not, it's a good game. We're going to call that a rush to Jotun as he tries to squeeze through, spin move. And he'll be at about the 48-yard line.
He's slippery.
He is, but Ricardo, you want to see a little bit more urgency now, that little shoot offense? Get to the line quickly.
Right, and with under a minute 20 now left in the fourth quarter, their kicker, Roseman, not sure what his range is.
Don't know either, yeah, and don't know the confidence really in either team's kicking games, so second down, though, first for the Mustangs is Vandenberg. He's going to swing it over. Look at this little trickery.
Oh, that's
Jotun
well
looking
covered.
for Theo.
Well covered. Oh, he caught.
Oh, my. Oh, we got a flag. What's the flag? Are they calling pass interference on that? Wow. And that is a PI, defensive PI against Freedom. Ricardo, wasn't that kind of tipped in the air maybe?
I didn't see PI there. I mean, he was bracketed. He had two guys on him.
Yeah, he needs that attention because of how good he is, his size, and Jotun trying to deliver a ball. I thought it was almost picked off. And there was kind of a battle there, but that's a tough call. Again, we're not on the field. We're not on the field, so we can't see what the official is.
PI wasn't something I thought.
So ball at the 37-yard line. Under a minute to play. As Vandenberg, he's going to go downfield looking for Thiel. And almost, wow.
Dropped it. Brett, that would have got him inside the 5.
Oh, boy, and Gavin Greiner, tight coverage there. You got 6'3 Greiner against the 6'5 Thiel. That's a great matchup. Two seniors going at it. Pretty good ball by Vandenberg. Second down, and I think in this situation, I don't know what the range is, but you don't need the touchdown, do you? You just need to get into a position where you feel comfortable with your kicker.
Yeah, and I'm sure they'd like to get it inside the 20. 30 to 35-yard range is what a typical high school kicker has. Second down and 10.
If you want to try a little screen again. Vandenberg, he's going to fire over. Nice catch, good hands. Is that Thiel still in bounds inside the 25? That's a tough catch along that sideline. Again, pretty good coverage because he's warranting the attention from the defense.
14-yard gain. First down and 10. I mean, they need about another 10 yards in my opinion.
Yeah, he went out of bounds, so that stops the clock. You still have two timeouts remaining. Ball will be at the 23-yard line. Rockets, by the way, Nina beats Kaukauna 35-17, so the Rockets stay undefeated.
We're swaying here in the press box.
Are we in Camp Randall Stadium here? What's going on? Oh, what a grab by Thiel. He's inside the 10, Ricardo.
Yeah, Thiel's coming up big here. Brett, he's just able to find a little hole there in the defense.
Going high. Vandenberg is keeping that ball high and letting his receiver go get it. That's some tough grabs and some great hands by Thiel with good coverage. It's not like he's wide open.
Back-to-back catches of 14 and 13 yards by Thiel, Brett. And now, if you're Little Shoe, no turnovers here.
Well, ball's at the 10, first and goal. What do? You
set it up for your.
Yeah.
Now you set it up for your kicker.
Probably try to want to just set up in the middle of the field, I would think. Let's see what Vandenberg wants to do.
They have Hunter Thiel by himself up there.
They're just giving it to Jotun, looking for a seam,
he's
in. 10-yard touchdown run by Jotun, his third rushing score of the game. And perhaps a conference championship drive right there by the Mustangs. Third touchdown run of the game. The 10-yarder by Drew Jotun. He also has a 1-yard score and a 3-yard score. Now a big PAT coming up with Dawson Roseman as the kicker. And it is no good, wide left. Ricardo, that does keep the door open a tad.
But with 29.1 seconds, that's a very small opening.
So the 10-yard touchdown run, a tad of bit of controversy, though, on that drive, right? That defensive pass interference, that's a tough call against Freedom, and they obviously did not like that call.
That, in my opinion, that wasn't even close to being a PI, but it was a second. That would have made it 3rd down and 5. There's no, guarantee that they would have forced a 4 and out. You know what I mean? But I thought that was a bad call.
Hey, it's a final act. Final act beats Kimberly 31-21. That is one of the biggest upsets of the night in the state. The Papermakers fall into Fond du Lac.
Lightning win over Oshkosh West 19-0. Another shutout for the Lightning.
Yeah, is that like at least 2 straight now, right? 3, at least 3 on the season.
And Brett, Albert Pujols just hit another home run.
Oh, stop it.
701.
How did the Brewers do after they ripped my heart out of my chest again last night after Avi Garcia hits a grand slam against Freddie Peralta last night?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, there was a doubleheader for the Phillies today, wasn't there?
Yeah, they won the first one.
Okay. Well, it's not over yet, but Freedom needs a big play here on special teams.
They need a return, and they got just the guy to do it in Carter Krewalt. So we'll see. Boy, that Freedom defense played so well. Kind of after taking a couple of roundhouses, right? Boy, forcing a bunch of turnovers. Defensive pass interference call was a killer for them, and that led to the Drew Jolton touchdown run. And some solid field position, though, for the Irish. 2 timeouts remaining, 24 seconds to go. And a quarterback that's got a good arm.
I didn't like the play call, Brett, on Freedom's last drive. Remember, it was 3rd and 2 at the 31. They went deep to Krewalt. My opinion is if you're going to go deep to Krewalt, then you got to go for it on 4th and 2. But right now the ball's 1st and 10 at the 41. 24 seconds left.
Watch out, fumble.
He just falls on it.
Yeah, and they're going to have to burn a timeout. Wow. And Freedom will take a second timeout, but not what you want if you were the Irish going the opposite way. (22-14). They just announced Wrightstown beating FVL tonight. So the Tigers, boy, that's going to be another big game in the NEC next week.
For Little Chute, is that who they play?
Yeah, Little Chute is.
Don't count Wrightstown out.
No. But another big one potentially coming up for the Mustangs. We'll see what happens with the final 18.8 seconds to go.
Final, Menasha 28, Notre Dame 21.
Good game there. So the Blue Jays in control of the FRCC South. Who's going to be in control of the NEC in the next 18.8 seconds? We'll figure it out. Second and a long way to go for the Irish as Weingard downfield, and
that's close to being
that was almost an interception, and it wasn't across the field. Intended for Westmeyer and number 55, Lakin Dirks, in on the coverage there. 3rd down and 17 coming up, ball at the 34-yard line.
Freedom needs a miracle. 3rd down, 17 from their own 34.
Weingard going to sling it and out of bounds. Ricardo 4th down and 17 coming up with 8.6 seconds to play. What's in your playbook for this?
Not many plays.
Rainbow downfield and see if you can get a PI.
That's, that is true. They've called a couple tonight.
So here you go. Little Chute fans in front of us cheering. And Weingart, watch out. He was hit. Big rainbow pass. Knocked away. And the Mustangs, Ricardo, are going to pull this one out. They're going to take a knee with 2.1 seconds to go as the Little Chute faithful on its feet and clapping its hands. You'll see Jack Verstegen showing off the muscles there too, huh? What a game. What a game and a battle between these two rivals. Rosie, you're going to want to make sure you get some good camera work as the winning team is going to go get that county ensign. Kind of like when the Badgers and the Gophers play for that axe, right? Victory formation for Little Chute, and that is how this one comes to a close. Little Chute with the victory tonight, 22-16 over Freedom, as we look at our Cellcom and Cooney's embroidery and sportswear scoreboard. Guys, we thought it was going to be a battle.
It was.
It was a battle. Ricardo, some of your thoughts here as you update your Twitter. Again, give Ricardo a follow at Ricardo DeLeon, D-E-L-I-A-N.
First off, let's talk about Freedom. They got to capitalize on mistakes. I think they had 2 or 3 opportunities to score, and I think they only did it one time. This is a team that, when you look at them, they're a pretty complete team. It came down to just not taking care or taking advantage of those opportunities. And, they're going to be there at the end, Brett. We don't know where they're going to be seated, all that stuff in D4. But they're a good team. They're well coached. And this is going to come down to the end again, the NEC. They could very well find themselves as champions again here, depending on how Little Chute does against Wrightstown. Now, for Little Chute, this is a big win for them. They have been having big wins the last several weeks, Brett. This is a team that's ascending. They're playing better and better every week. They even overcame those mistakes, Brett. That's a sign of a good team.
Yeah.
You can make mistakes and still overcome them and not get down on yourself and show that grittiness to pull out the win.
There they are celebrating with the county ensign, showing it to the student section over there. The Mustangs now with 2 trophy wins this season. They got the LC trophy after beating Luxembourg Casco. Now the county ensign. It'll be very interesting, Ricardo, to see how this plays out for these 2 teams. These are 2 talented squads, and you know what? Would not be surprised if they face each other again in Division 4.
And I think that's something that's a real possibility, Brett, depending on how these kind of pan out. Sooner or later you're going to have to see the middle border in there somewhere, but both these teams you could see going far in the playoffs.
And Wrightstown's going to be in the mix too in D4, so they all could play each other again here. This whole crazy football season starts to kind of unwind as football players trying to sing the school song. I heard a lot of some notes out of tune there.
Yes.
But you're going to go down and get some quotes from the guys down there, Ricardo?
I am, and then you can catch everything on the Roundup tomorrow at 8 a.m. when both of my stories will post, the City Roundup as well as the Valley Roundup.
And then we will see you at Kimberly for what should be an even more intriguing matchup now that the Papermakers lost. The Rockets, Nina, in sole possession of first place in the Fox Valley Association. Your dark horse now in the lead.
Awesome stuff. Well, gentlemen, we'll see you next week, huh, my friends? Thank you so much, everyone, for watching.
We'll see Live, too. Make sure you show up for that.
I will. All right, guys, have a good one.
Sounds good, Ricardo. I'm going to run down the scoring here before we sign off from Unison Credit Union Stadium at Fitzpatrick Field. Mustangs got on the board first, the first of 3 Drew Jotun touchdown runs. This was a 1-yarder with 5:51 remaining in the opening quarter. The kick was good, and that capped a 12-play, 87-yard march for the Mustangs. They took a 7-0 lead. Jotun then another touchdown run with 10:47 to play in the second quarter. That from 3 yards out. The kick was no good, and it was 13-0 Little Chute. Mustangs got a late first half field goal by Dawson Roseman with 2:05 to play, made it 16-0 Little Chute, and then Freedom got on the board. A minute 18 to play, so shortly thereafter, it was a 5-yard pass from quarterback Matt Weingard to number 13, Carson Clausen. Then Weingard hooked up with Greg Westmeyer on the 2-point conversion pass, and that's how we went into the half, 16-8 Little Chute with the lead. Scoreless third quarter led to a pretty active fourth quarter, a good defensive battle back and forth. Freedom tied it up with 8:42 remaining in the fourth, a 27-yard touchdown run by number 4, the quarterback, Matt Weingard, and then he ran it in himself on the 2-point conversion try. 16-16 is where it stood until Drew Joten scored on a 10-yard touchdown run with 29.1 seconds to play. The kick was no good. Didn't matter. And Little Chute holds on to beat Freedom 22-16. With the victory, the Mustangs now 7-0 on the season and now 5-0 in the Northeastern Conference. Sole possession of first place in the league with 2 weeks to play. Freedom falls to 6-1 on the season, 4-1 in league play. Little Chute at Wrightstown next Friday. That's a Northeastern Conference matchup. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m. That's going to be a whale of a game as well. The Tigers with just one conference loss, so it should be a good battle. And that's just up the road, Rosie. What, 15 miles maybe, something like that. Wrightstown, not too far of a drive, of course. And Freedom try to get back on track. They'll be home against Denmark next Friday. That, too, is a Northeastern Conference matchup. Kickoff is scheduled for 7 p.m. As for us, we've been talking about it throughout the night, but we'll be at Papermaker Stadium in Kimberly. That's still a big Week 8 matchup as Kimberly, which suffered an upset loss tonight to Fond du Lac. The Papermakers hosting the undefeated Neenah Rockets in the game that definitely has Fox Valley Association Championship implications. Live coverage will kick off at 6:45 p.m. You can access our Game of the Week live streams on our USA Today Network Wisconsin websites. Just go to the sports section and scroll down until you see the Watch Our Varsity Game of the Week Prep live streams link. Don't forget about that great digital subscription deal, 6 months for $1. You can't go wrong with that. And I want to give a shout out once again to our sponsors. First, Cellcom. Fall into savings this month at Cellcom with up to $500 in savings when you activate a new smartphone line and trade in your existing device. Visit cellcom.com/save for details. And Cooney's Embroidery and Sportswear. They have the skills and experience to customize your apparel and spread the word about your organization. Contact them today at 920-731-0922 or send them an email at Cooneys, COONEYS 0922 at sbcglobal.net. So for Ricardo and Rosie, and of course the entire crew with USA Today Network Wisconsin, this is Brett Christopherson signing off from Unison Credit Union Stadium, Fitzpatrick Field here at Little Chute High School. Once again, the final score tonight, the Mustangs 22, the Irish 16. Thanks for watching, everybody.